Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Shalom.
Thanks for joining us. It's the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We are located at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. Got class times Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., Friday from 6 to 9 p.m., Saturday Sabbath class 10 to 2 p.m., and we also do a kids class from 11 to 12. Okay? If you have any questions, definitely hit us up. You can reach Priest Kazakia at 321-960-8411. Call Priest Tahawam or text 832-941-2443. Or you can contact us through email hiddentruth12@gmail.com. Okay? That's if you have any questions at any time, call or text. We also have a school in Albuquerque. Okay, so if you're in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area, that's where's that at? I'm sorry, 501 Copper Avenue, Northwest Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87102. We also have a school in San Antonio that's been there for a long time. The address of that school is 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. Okay, so that's if you're in the San Antonio or New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico area. As far as announcements, what we got going on, we're having where the sisters collect. They're collecting sweaters and jackets. They're collecting these things each week. Okay, so that they can sweaters, jackets, toys. They're collecting these things so we can hand them out to the community. You can drop them off here at the school if you're in the area, or you could actually mail them to us at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard. Okay? What else we got? If you're in need of a jacket, sweaters, I know it's winter, so if you're in need of these things, definitely hit us up. We definitely can help you out. Okay? For our past classes, you want to get on our YouTube channel. That's Kazakia ISB HBK. Kazakia ISB HBK. That's for our past classes. For our live feed, it's Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. Okay? Let's see what else. We got, what we have coming up feast-wise. We have Passover is coming up. Hey, listen, it's January 11th. I mean, just like that, we're already 11 days into the month. So Passover is going to be here pretty soon. So if you want a garment, get with us. Get with us, get with the sisters so we can get you a garment made if you want to join us for the Passover. And do it early because the time is going to fly by. Next thing you know, it's going to be April. It's going to be Passover time. So get with us so we can get a garment made. If you want a garment other than Passover, the sisters make garments. They sell them online, whatever the case may be. What's that, sis?
We also make Passover garments for people that are not in the state.
Yeah, and this is for the people that are not in state also. If you want a Passover garment, you just want to be in that unity, or if you plan on coming out and you want to be in that unity, get with us so we can get you guys a garment made. Okay, what else was there? If you'd like to contribute, if you'd like to help us out, any books, pens, papers, anything that you can contribute that you think is going to further the educational process of your people, hit us up. You can text us, you can email us, hiddentruth12@gmail. Any monetary donations, we have a Wells Fargo account under Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge, and she will put the Wells Fargo number. It's already up on the YouTube. So if you want to donate that way, you can do that. All right. So we're gonna do what we always do. We're gonna open it up for questions, online and in class. How y'all been feeling in here? Y'all been good? Y'all been good? Yeah. Con. There got any questions? Y'all been studying, right?
Con.
you gotta study, man. Definitely gotta, like the scriptures say, girt the loins of your mind. You know, because no matter what you think, you gotta clean yourself daily, some way or another. I mean, you shower daily, you clean that physical. You gotta clean your mind daily. That's why it says wisdom and knowledge is the stability of thy times and strength of thy salvation. This is the only thing that's going to save us. This is the only thing that's going to keep us stable in these wicked and desperate times, man. People are desperate out there. A lot of wickedness going on. You know, Trump about to be in office. You know, I know y'all seen Obama gave his last little speech yesterday. So he's about to be out of here. Not that he did anything, not that he was like the great black hope or anything, but still. You know, I mean, he's the lesser of two evils. It's about to be madness when Trump take that office. Y'all know that. It's about to be madness, man. So you really got to know what we're up against as people. First and foremost, people of the Most High. You gotta really see what we're going up against and what's going to be happening in these last times. What's up?
Oh, I had a Proverbs 10 and 11.
What you got?
That's a lot. Proverbs 10 and 19.
See you shining.
Oh, yeah, you got me.
What's up? So Proverbs 7. You got a question on it?
Okay.
Okay.
It says, in the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Oh, that's your question.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Read it again. I was like, is he dropping the scripture?
What was it? What was it?
Verse 19.
Proverbs what?
10 and 19.
Oh.
Yeah, read it again.
It says, in the multitude of words there wanteth not sin.
Yeah, well, that want is not like to stay away from. You're not staying away from sin. That's not like the want, as in give me,
Okay.
right? I guess it is, right? But it's a different meaning in this context,
Okay.
right? You're not trying to stay away from sin when you run in your mouth a lot, right?
It's like that scripture.
You're
that
talking
says,
too much,
okay. It's
right?
like the scripture that says, like your yea be yea and your
Yeah, you're nay be nay, right? You're talking too much. That's why the scriptures say, comprehending much in few words. Sometimes the easier way is just what I've learned over these past years is the easiest way is like the Bible says, comprehending much in few words. Basic, not going into what I call the quasars, and it's clear. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters that recently has been connected to that. Okay, these brothers are staying to the basics. They're not trying to go too far,
Okay, okay.
But when you get into talking too much explaining, sometimes you get lost in translation. You see that? So read it again.
Proverbs chapter 10, verse 19. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin.
Yeah, you're not staying away from sin. Go ahead.
But he that refraineth his lips is wise.
Right, but person that can control his lips, right? He knows when to talk, when to speak, when not to speak, right? That's somebody that's wise,
Correct.
right? That was 10 and 19 Proverbs.
Correct, yes, sir.
Yeah, there's another one I was thinking of with that. You got a question?
Yeah, this is those 6 verse 3. Now I know that his name is, Most High name is called Yahweh, right?
Yes.
Christ is Yahweh Shah.
Right.
I'm just going to ask a question on this. It said, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty, but by my name Jehovah.
What, before we go there, could I just throw this for his
Go ahead,
question?
go ahead.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go to their Proverbs 17 and 27.
Okay.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27.
Yeah, just write with yours.
He that hath knowledge spareth his words.
Right.
And-
So you see that?
Go ahead.
A person that has knowledge, he's watching what he says.
Go ahead.
He's paying attention to what he's saying. And it's funny because me and Volante was talking the other day, and he was saying, man, some of your own videos, you would say, yeah, me.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying a lot, so, you know, but you can see if you watch the new as the transition, if you're conscious of what you're doing, because you start looking at yourself and see what you're saying and paying attention. So I guess I'm using myself as an example because whether it's the bad but transitioning into being better, right? How you talk, how you pay attention to yourself. You see that?
Okay.
That's gonna make you a better teacher. Go ahead.
Okay. And a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit.
Right. Go ahead.
Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace.
That's deep right there. I didn't go into it, but a man of understanding has an excellent spirit. When you look at all of our forefathers, how they carried themselves, some of these belligerents online, you can tell that ain't how our forefathers did it. They don't got a good spirit about them. It's just the brute animal. You cursing people out. You're not watching how you come across. You don't give a dang about nothing. And some brothers think that's power. They think, oh, that's power when you're belligerent and brute and an animal, you know, and that's not. The elders, forefathers had excellent spirits.
Yeah.
You know, they were humble, they were meek, they were bold, they were strong, but in righteousness. You see that? Yeah, that's definitely a hot scripture. Go ahead.
It's even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise.
So once again, on your question 10 and 19, showing you that about speaking. A person that holds his tongue, he can be considered wise. Like you see a lot of, you know, a lot of Facebook, a lot of people on there just blabbing stuff out, and you can tell they don't even know what they're talking about. They heard it from somebody else. They heard it from somebody else. They didn't research it. You know, it's you can see that. But even a fool, if when he shuts up, he can be looked at as a smart person, just because of how he refrains, controls himself, and he can be a foolish person. So this is the example he's showing you about being. But he that refraineth his lips is wise. This is the example. Go ahead.
And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
Right, because oh Lord, you got to know when to shut up, when to speak, when not to speak. There's a time for all things. It's a time to speak. It's a time not to speak. And that's when you go through Proverbs, when it says, answer a fool, not according to his folly. Then the next verse says, answer a fool according to his folly. Because it's telling you there's a time for all things. Sometimes you will answer a fool on Facebook. Right? And then to stand for righteousness. When you see they don't get it, you won't bother with that. You won't answer a fool according to his father. See that? So it's just talking about speech. It's talking about communication and how to get better at it. You got that?
Yes, sir.
But I mean, we can go on and about speech. This is something. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot on that. But all right, let's go ahead. Where you at, Ak?
Exodus 6 verse 3.
Exodus 6 and 3. Mm-hmm.
And I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty. But by name Jehovah was I not known to them.
Right. So God Almighty is Allah Shaddai, which means the Most High Almighty. So, but he said they're not known to me as Yahweh. You see that? So he wanted them to be known to him as I am. He is. You see that? So remember, and we'll go over it again. We've been over it many times. The Most High has many names. You see that? Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Christ has many names, right? The Most High can't be contained by a name.
Right.
He can't be contained by one name that identifies him. But Christ has many names because he assumed many characteristics and positions.
Right.
So when you got that, you know, I had it before too. He's called the Comforter. He is called.
Yeah, and he shall be called.
And he shall be
all
called.
the names, yeah.
And he got all the names that Christ was known for.
Right, I saw
Right. So Christ has many names. You see that? Now, this right here, when you understand, was Christ. Because no man have seen God at any time. The scriptures tell you that. No man have seen God at any time. So putting things into perspective, Moses didn't see God Almighty. He seen the angel that was sent in his presence.
Right.
Okay? And like I said, we'll go over it again. These are some things that we kind of, last year, kind of just beat in there. But we, you know, a lot of them got to be over and over, classes over and over again. You know? So, yeah, we'll go over that again for you. Actually, he's writing it down now, so he can go over it. He'll put it together for you, and we'll go over all those scriptures again. But right, so yeah, at one time he was known as God Almighty, right? Then another time he came back. It's more names. I'm off the head. I don't want to butcher none of them.
I'm talking about Christ.
Yeah, talking about Christ, or
Yeah,
you know,
Man of Sorrows.
right? No, I'm talking about in the Old Testament.
Oh, in the Old Testament. Okay.
You know,
Yeah, I think that was.
no, there was Al Shaddai. It was another one.
Is it
Oh, okay, I see what you're
Emmanuel?
saying. Oh, I see.
Now that's Christ,
Christ.
right?
Okay.
In the New Testament, right? Or no, that was Christ in Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isaiah and going into the New Testament. So yeah, there's so many names, man. We just get a list of them and go through them in the scriptures for you, right? But remember, I think what your question is, and what a lot of people get mixed up, is that they're trying to define, first of all, the Most High and Christ by one name when they have many names.
Okay.
You see that? Because they're beyond what we are. You see that?
Right.
We're man.
Gotcha.
You see that? We can be defined by one name. Well, but what Christ has done, being the Comforter, you know, right? Being the rock, right? He assumed these positions.
Right.
He did these things.
Okay.
You see that?
Right.
So that's why he has many different names.
So when I'm in prayer, it's nothing wrong with me basically calling out sometimes it's different names. To him.
Yeah, if you say, David did it. He said, "Thou art my rock, thou art my shield, thou art my buckler." Yeah, it's nothing wrong, you know what I mean? But we know him as he who saves now, right?
Okay.
Which they know ignorantly as Jesus Christ, right?
Right.
But we know him as Yahweh Shai.
Right.
See? So the proper, you know, because that was his last mission, right?
Right.
What we know him as his ultimate position, which was what? The Savior, right? You see that?
Right.
So, the anointed. You hear brothers say Hamashiach, meaning the anointed,
Okay.
right? But we know we're not talking about the anointed prophets. We're talking about the anointed one, which is Christ. You see that? So,
Wow.
yeah. We'll go over it again. That's a good question, good classes that we can hit on in depth instead of just throwing out a few scriptures on that. That's certain of those classes I like to give them in depth so you guys can have all the scriptures and then you can come back and say, okay, I got this. All right.
Thank you.
So we got any? I think I got a few right here. Trying to see right here. See if we got any questions. So if y'all got any questions, now's the time. We're going to open it up a little bit before we go into this class. Submit or die? Okay. All right. Before we go into this class, submit or die. You brothers and sisters, knock it out. Hit us with the questions now.
There's several.
All right, what we got?
Isaiah 40:29 through 31. Are these the spiritual powers that the elect 144,000 received to physically and spiritual battle our enemies?
Isaiah 40 verse what?
29 through 31.
Isaiah chapter 40, verse 29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength.
Mm-hmm.
Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles.
Mm-hmm.
They shall run and not be weary.
Right.
And they shall walk and not faint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I mean, yes, that's a basic, easy one. When you read all the way up here, I mean, when you read right here, it says, yeah. No, verse 27, but it said it. But they that wait upon the Lord. They that wait on the Lord. This is the gift the Most High is going to renew. When it says that in the twinkling of an eye, we're going to be changed. When you go back to Obadiah, the Most High said He's going to give us powers. It says we shall run through Esau like sparks in the midst of stubble. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you know, and we're going to touch on some like that too. So you know, just showing about the power that the Most High is going to give the chosen. Okay, so look out for that. But yeah, absolutely. You asked the question, and the answer is correct. This is talking about the Most High endowing us, and that twinkle of an eye, we're going to be changed. Okay. All right. What other one we got? I got one here. Let me answer this one real quick. And if you could look at a link up and hit them with a link on this one, because I know we can take the whole class for this one, and I don't want to do that. But what commandments are still valid today? All of them.
All of them.
You know, remember, this is what we're trying to do here. And when you say that, and when we say all of them, we know we don't sacrifice. Okay? So, let's get technical. I'll get technical. And the reason why we said all of them is because from a religion stance, they try to
none of them.
They try to take out the commandments.
Yeah.
So we have to come back and say all of them, because they're trying to chip away at the commandments. So before we go to Matthew 5:17, right? I want to go to. It says.
Back in Romans.
Yeah.
Touching that Romans.
Oh, I love Romans.
I know you do.
Because that's where cats get twisted on the law, in Romans.
Mm-hmm.
But actually it's. Hebrews is actually Hebrews 6 verse 1. And this is why I said all of them. Because we know, first of all, keeping them to the level that's needed, we're going to fall short. But striving to do it is another thing. We have to strive to keep the commandments of the Most High to the best ability. And you know, where we fall short, the Most High gives us grace. But our fight has to be towards perfection. So read that, Hebrews 6 verse 1.
Hebrews.
Go ahead, Volante.
Hebrews chapter 6 verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, leaving the principle of the doctrine of Christ,
Right.
let us go unto perfection,
Right.
laying not again the foundation of repentance from dead works.
So we're supposed to be moving on to perfection. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be trying to get it perfect, trying to get it right. And we touched on this the other day about rehearsing the righteous acts, right? So if we're rehearsing the righteous acts, we're rehearsing to get it right.
Right.
You know, we're not rehearsing to keep getting it wrong. Okay, let's do that scene again, guys. Let's come on out here. Let's do that scene again. You know, you might mess it up, but the point is to do what?
Get it right.
To get it right, and that's what we're fighting for, perfection. So all the laws, even though we fall short, remember the point is to be perfect. That's the point. That's why he has to come and do the twinkling, because where we have fallen short, he's going to make us perfect in. You see that? So the reason why I went from this point is to show that a lot of times you give yourself excuses. The only excuse is to get your ass back up and get it right. Striving for perfection. Having godly sorrow. So, not saying that we're not going to, remembering we're not going to be perfect, remembering that we're not going to get every law down, but I'm going to strive for the truth unto death.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
So that's the mind state we have to be in, because nowadays, if not, you're like, well, I don't really have to do that, really. But you make a way, you try to get better at it, right? That's what we have to be doing, okay? But Matthew 5 verse 17, going in that, and then we'll touch on that, Jeremiah 31:31, because this is where the Spirit is leading us. The Spirit is leading us to perfection, right? That's why you get the principles to move on to perfection. Okay, go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 17.
Go ahead.
Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets.
Mm-hmm.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Right?
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle
Shall in no wise pass from the law. So what are we understanding? What are we understanding?
The law is forever.
not the smallest point.
Not the smallest of the point is to be looked past. Christ came to give us understanding of the law. And, you know, the understanding is that we got to keep fighting. We got to keep getting better, right? Not saying you're going to be saved by the law, because we know the law ain't going to save us. But the law is keeping us right. It's keeping us in the right mind. You see that? What's up?
I got one. It'll fit perfectly with
Go ahead.
It's Psalms chapter 19 verse 7.
Psalms 19 verse 7. Wait till they get it. Psalms 19 verse 7.
Psalms chapter 19 verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect,
Right.
converting the soul.
Perfect.
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoice in the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes.
Right.
So why would you want to get rid of that?
Right. So,
That's right.
so that's Psalms 19.
That's awesome.
And that's just showing that the Most High is bringing us to this level. All right? So Christ didn't do away with the law. He said, till one jot and one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. So now we got to look at things in a different eyesight. You see that? Not giving ourselves an excuse, but fighting. Trying to get better. Right?
Plus, going along with that scripture he just dropped, it's like he said, why would you want to get rid of that?
That's right.
What is the law meant to do?
Convert.
It's meant to convert, but you know the problem is, people look at the law. When they hear law, they automatically, the thing that pops in their head is constraint or some type of I'm being held back. So that's why people don't want to follow.
Wow.
They don't understand that the law is meant to convert you. It's meant to show you, like it says in Romans, Romans 7:7, that you wouldn't even know sin if it wasn't for the law. You see that? So the law is meant to show you where you're off at, so you can continue to get perfect. What's that?
I was going to say, you said the...
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
was going to say, you were saying that most people, when they think about the law, they think like you know, in today, like the law holds you back.
The law holds you back.
But With the Most High's law, it's like it's the opposite.
But it does hold you. Well, this is the thing. It does hold you back
From
from
wickedness.
getting destroyed.
Right.
Yeah,
Just like
it holds you back. It does hold, but they don't look at it like that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it does, and that's what they don't get. That the Most High is always trying to set us up for perfection. He's trying to set us up to win, not to fail. But they don't know what winning is. They don't even know what failure is. What were you gonna say,
I was
Sam?
just saying what you said a minute ago. You were saying a twinkle of an eye. Do
Yeah.
you know how overjoyed that makes my heart?
Yeah, that's dope, right? Yeah.
You hear that?
Think about it. You're gonna be perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, but listen, only the righteous are gonna get the twinkle. The ones that tried, right? Remember, he said, you don't know what you shall be, but when you see him, you're gonna be like him. Well, those are those that tried. You think the ones that they kept being wickedness, they get the twinkle? You don't get to get twinkle.
Right. You don't get the twinkle twinkle.
You don't get the twinkle
Or
twinkle.
the sprinkle sprinkle. You don't get
None of that. None of that.
You don't get none of that.
It ain't that easy. If it was that easy,
I know that.
we would be doing this for nothing.
You get the whooping whooping.
Wow.
The lashing.
Yeah. We're gonna jump to go to Jeremiah 31, and just showing that where the law was supposed to take us. So why can it not be done away with? Why can't it not be thought as well? We don't really have to do that. Well, we don't have to do that. Well, we do. The thing is that we're in captivity right now. A lot of things we can't do. You see that? But in the kingdom, we're going to do them the right way. In the kingdom, we're going to do it the right way. Right now, we're rehearsing, we're trying, we're doing our best. We fall short, we get back up, we do it. But in the kingdom, we ain't going to have to worry about none of that. Right?
Right.
So read that, Jeremiah 31, what is it, 31?
John.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 31. Behold, the day is come, said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day.
So,
Go ahead.
so, this is that new covenant. Like, those Christians always talk about the new covenant. The new covenant.
Right.
This is the new covenant.
Wow.
This is that new covenant where, we're going to read on, but it's letting you know from the jump, from the gate. This is going to be what the new covenant is. It isn't, we got grace and that's it. Just have faith and that's it.
Right.
Just sit on your ass and don't do nothing at all. No, you got to work. You got to have faith. You got the grace. You got all these things, but this is the covenant. Go ahead.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
Yeah, because when he gave us the covenant when we came out of Egypt, the covenant was this. You committed adultery, you died. You see that?
Right.
You committed adultery, you died. Whatever, you stole, handcuffed, whatever. You died. There would have to be some blood required for a sin. A lamb had to get slaughtered. There was blood for sin, basically, or death. So that was the old covenant. That's why he said, not according to the old covenant. You don't have to die in this new covenant. You see? Go ahead.
Which my covenant they break.
Yeah, we broke that old covenant anyway. We just kept sacrificing and dying. And then obviously when Christ came, he was that ultimate sacrifice. Read on.
Although I was an husband unto them, said the Lord.
Right?
Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts.
They're going to be where?
In inward parts.
We ain't got to keep them. Read it again. You're going to put the law where?
In their inward parts.
You see that? So he said the law is going to be in our inward parts. What's the point of doing away with it if he's just going to bring it right back to us? What's the point of getting rid of it and not doing it if he's going to engraft it into our spirit?
That's that Christianity damn madness why people don't want to read the Bible. They're like, it sounds, how they drop it is confusing as hell.
It's going to be think about it. When something is in your inward parts, it's more than second nature.
Yeah.
It's like second nature to just love your brother.
No.
You need something, I got you. Boom. Ain't no thought like, let me consider. No, you need something, I got you. You see that? There's no thought of, should I do the right or wrong thing? You're automatically going to do the right thing. That's what it means by being in your inward parts.
Alright.
It's a part of you. You see that? So you don't have to run to a Bible or have somebody teach you, look, don't do this, don't do that, don't steal, don't rob. You don't automatically know. You see that? Read on.
And write it in their hearts.
Yeah, it's going to be in your mind. It's going to be in your mind day and night. This is what you're going to meditate on. This is what you're going to live by day and night. It's going to be written in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Read.
And will be their God.
And what?
And will be their God.
Yeah, the Most High said he's going to be our God. Meaning we're not going to have to go run to any other gods. We're not going to be captive to the carnality. You know, you got people, their woman is their God, their car is their God, their money is their God, Buddha is their God. We ain't have to deal with none of that no more. We're going to know that the Most High is our God and we are his children. Read.
And they shall be my people.
You see that? And we're going to be his people. Well, why? Because now we're doing what he wants us to do. That's how you become, that's how you be accepted by the Most High. You got to do what he wants you to do. Read on.
Verse 34.
And this is the point right here. Because this is one of the main points. Because this is what we do now, right? We're going to read it. Read it.
And they shall teach no more.
So what do?
Teach no more.
So we teach. This is what we're doing. We're teaching. But it said we're not going to teach no more. Read.
Every man his neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
and every man his brother,
Mm-hmm.
saying, Know the Lord, for they shall know me.
Right. But how do you know the Most High? How do you know the Lord?
Oh,
You
no.
keep those commandments. But we're not going to have to teach our neighbors and brothers, look, do this, bro. Do this, bro. Bro, you off. You got pride. You got demons. You got this. No, it's going to be in us to already know, to already do these things, to check ourselves. You see that?
And the Most High is establishing that mind now, though.
Yeah, through rehearsing these righteous acts.
There you go.
Through the teaching. Through the brotherhood. Through the sufferings. Through all of it. He's showing us, look, this is what you're going through, but I'm going to show you this is what you're going to be. This is the level you're going to be at. I'm going to evolve your Pokemon. You see that? I'm going to evolve you. I mean, you got to, you know about it. You know what I'm saying? But you really got to think about that. Like, think about being this man that got all these thoughts running through his head, constantly always having to battle the evil, always trying to fight for the spirit, always trying to fight for the righteous, the righteousness of the Most High. Sometimes you fail. Most of the time, you succeed. But imagine not even have to have that battle anymore. Imagine that. That battle in your head is gone. Think about how your spirit got to feel. Think about how your face got to look. Think about the countenance of the man that ain't got a battle in his head. Because he could just shut down evil just like this. It don't even come to him. Think about that. They gotta like that's what it means, that twinkling of an eye. Bro, you're gonna be glowing. Like somebody that's drenched you in olive oil is glowing. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be shining, baby. You see that? Is that it on that?
Yeah, that's it on that. One more real quick and then we get to more online. These are texts that I'm getting from a brother that started checking us out. We appreciate all y'all that check us out and tune into class. He said here, hold on a second. The next question he had is First Chronicles 5:19, the people of Genesis 4:16. Well, if you go and look up, I want you to go to your Zondervan. And you look at the Hagarites. Remember, Genesis 4. The people of Nod. 4 verse 6. First, let's do it like that. Let's go to the Hagarites. His question is in 1 Chronicles 5 verse 19, and he's talking about those people that the Hagarites.
I got it. The Hagarites?
Yeah, what you got?
Hagarites, an Arab people with whom in the days of King Saul, the tribe of Reuben made war.
Right. So it's saying that the Hagarites are Arab people.
What page is that on? What book and what page?
This is the Zondervan Bible Pictorial Dictionary, page 329.
Yeah, make sure you get the page of that book whenever you reference it.
So remember that these people came through Noah. So no, it wouldn't be those people. It wouldn't be those people at that time. If you want to go back to Cain, they wouldn't be under that name, technically. They would be Mesopotamians or Sumerians, right? Because remember, Abraham came out of Sumeria, okay? He came out of Mesopotamia, right? Okay, so when you deal with, remember, civilization, where it was first made, you're talking about the cradle of the birth of the earth, right? That's what they called it. They called it Sumeria or Mesopotamia. So these people, the Hagarites or the Arabs, came after. So no, they wouldn't be the same people of Nod. He's saying it's First Chronicles, those people, the same people of Nod. They wouldn't be the same people. They would actually, the people of Nod probably were most likely called Sumerians or Mesopotamians. Alright? So, alright, that was it on that. Any other, what other ones we got on there?
We got,
Online.
let's see here. What if it says, what if a brother is married to Esau, or a sister married to Esau? Will they be saved?
Well, did Moses have a nation rib? Did David have a nation rib? Did Solomon have women of other nations? Okay, so these men were righteous.
But who are they?
That
question.
yeah, so will they be saved? Yeah, long as they keep the law, statutes, commandments.
The men are they talking about the men?
You're talking about the men? Well, yeah, that is, well, let me refresh, right. You're talking about the men or the women?
Like, are you talking about, will Esau be saved? Because they're married to, yeah, because it says it for brother. So basically it's talking about.
A brother?
It said, where did I go? If a brother is married to Esau,
Uh-huh.
or a sister married to Esau, so when they say a brother, they're talking about Hebrew. A brother or a sister.
Oh, okay,
Married to
Israelite.
Esau, Israelite, yeah, will they be saved? So I think are they saying, will an Edomite be saved because they're married to now an Israelite?
Oh, the nation?
The nation, will they be saved?
It's a hard one. They're going to be saved, but for what the Most High said they're going to be saved for. Slavery.
Most I say you have mercy on who you
You
have
got
mercy on.
Listen, I know y'all don't want to hear it, but listen, I'm going to say this. Let's think about this. When you were in slavery, right? Okay? The slave master was having sex with you, right? But did that change your position? Or were you still picking cotton and getting whooped?
Probably just not as hard.
Huh? Oh, sorry, you were made a house
Yeah,
nigga.
your-
Okay.
Your quota went down.
You know, the same thing. Listen, if you look at how the Most High does things, and you look at all the prophecies without going over this all over again, because we have this question
Every class.
not every class, but every 3 classes.
Every time I'm here.
Every
it
time you
seems
hear
like
it's like
it,
the
yes.
same question. Yeah, you know, you see that that the Most High has already ordained the nations to you reap what you sow. So, like I said, without going over Isaiah 60 again, Isaiah 14, right? They're going to serve captivity. That's what they're going to do. What?
This is not to say that just because they're married to Israel, they're saved. They have to put works too, right?
Huh? What we're not understanding is this. Go to Isaiah 60. Let me start talking with my hands. Listen. Go to Isaiah 60. Now, unless we're going to cut this out, unless we're going to say, that doesn't apply. Jesus cut that out. But we know that this is one of the ultimate promises. Now we're going to start from verse 1.
Con.
Let's start from verse 1. Because people in the New Testament go to the New Testament, they see, the Gentiles shall come to thy light. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. The Gentiles are going to come to the light. He's going to tell us how.
Con.
Right? Let's start from verse 1 so we don't get the chapter out of context. Okay, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Arise, shine, for thy light is come,
Uh-huh.
and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
Go ahead.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth,
Right.
and gross darkness the people.
Right.
But the Lord shall arise upon thee,
Right.
and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Yeah, because the Most High, the elect, the example is going to be seen through the people. Then Christ is going to come back and fulfill that. And his glory is that much more going to abound on the chosen. Right?
Con.
Con.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light.
And they're the nations. So don't be misconstrued. And there's no Israelite that thinks this, that all the nations are going to go up in the smoke. That's not going to happen. So, once again, if you wanted to say that the Gentiles are coming in into this new kingdom, yes, they are. They're going to come into the kingdom. So, the Bible, it tells us, I'll be a liar to say they're not going to make it into the kingdom. Right? But they're going to have a different role in that kingdom. Okay? So, they're going to make it to this place. They might not dwell in Jerusalem, right?
Con.
They're not going to dwell in the temple, right? But they're going to be still here on the earth.
Con.
And they're going to partake in us pushing the laws, statutes, and commandments through the earth. All nations are going to bow. All people are going to confess, right?
Con.
So they're going to go, Isaiah 2 tells us, and we'll go there, and go ahead.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And the king shall come to thy light.
Right, so they are going to come. They're going to come to this light. The righteousness, the holiness, the laws, the statutes, the commandments. Hold that, go to Isaiah 2. Let's talk about what the light is, because the light is the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. That's why I said, if you read from verse 1, it starts to put everything in context. Isaiah 2, verse 2. Start from there. I mean, read 1 on down. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 1.
Go ahead.
The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in the last days
Uh-huh.
that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Right, in the top of the what?
Of the mountains.
In the top of the mountains. So we're talking about the last days.
Con.
We're talking about the transition from the last days, because that's what we're in. We're in the transitioning from darkness to the light,
Con.
right? Wickedness to righteousness, right? Go ahead.
And shall be exalted above the hills.
Right, but we know that we're not there yet until the twinkle, until the change, until Christ coming back and renewing things, right?
Con.
He's got to wipe a few people out first. More than a few. Go ahead.
And all nations shall flow unto it.
So there you go. Once again, all nations are going to come to the mountain of the Lord. So let's be real. All the nations aren't just going to go in the smoke. A lot of the nations are going to be preserved to build the kingdom to come. What?
I'm trying to understand, so there's gonna be a certain elect that's gonna make it to the kingdom as far as Israel, right? And then the ones that are not gonna make it, they're gonna be banished somewhere else. What about the nations? Do they get also some?
We're going to go back to Isaiah 60, and it's going to answer that question. Go ahead.
Con. Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord,
Go ahead.
to the house of the God of Jacob.
Go ahead.
And he will teach us of his ways.
Right.
And we will walk in his paths.
Right.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
There you go again. So in the kingdom, the law is going to be in us, but we're still going to have to teach the law to the nations. We're going to teach the law to them, but the law is going to be in the chosen. See? Go ahead.
And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
You see that? So Jerusalem is going to be the main place, right? Now, the Most High ain't going to let the other nations in Jerusalem. They don't get to go in there. That's for the holy. That's for the righteous. So the other nations are going to build up the outward, right? Because Jerusalem is a whole different story. The Most High has that prepared. Go ahead.
And he shall judge among the nations.
Right, you see that? So this is in the future. The nations are gonna be there. So we get that. Right? Go ahead.
And shall rebuke many people.
We're gonna do what?
Rebuke many people.
So we're gonna have to get people in order, rebuke them, correct them in the ways of the Most High. Because they're still not going to have the law. Not like the children. Not like the chosen. When the Most High twinkles the chosen, remember, that's the chosen. That's not even wicked Israel. They don't get to get twinkled. They going to get burnt up.
Okay, that's exactly where I was going. So, wicked Israel's going to get burnt up, but the nations that are wicked, they're still not going to get burnt up. They're still going to get a chance to be amongst us, and we're going to teach them.
We're going to go there. Go ahead.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares.
Right.
And their spears into pruning hooks.
Right.
Nation shall not lift up sword against nation.
Right.
Neither shall they learn war anymore.
Right. So there's going to be peace on earth. Go back to Isaiah 60, and let's read 3 again.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light.
Right.
And kings to the brightness of thy rising.
Read.
Lift up thine eyes round about, and see. All they gather themselves together. They come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Right, because it tells you in Isaiah 14 that kings shall be their nursing mothers, kept thy fathers, and queens thy nursing mothers, and they shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth.
God.
Okay? It's gonna answer your question. Go.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged.
Right.
Because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee.
You see that? Everything that is all these other nations is going to be converted unto us. That's not, we're going to find out, that's not by willing. You see that?
God.
That's not willing. A lot of people think about it. When Christ is destroyed, he's destroyed these nations. You're still going to have nations trying to fight against us. So that's when the Most High, when Christ does his hour thing and destroys Babylon the Great in 1 hour, he's going to twinkle the chosen, and then the 144,000 are going to have to go clean up the whole earth. We're going to go around and set these nations in order. Go ahead.
The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
Right, so it's telling us how the Gentiles are going to come unto us, how they're going to come to the light. They're going to come unto us. Go ahead.
The multitude of camels shall cover thee.
Uh-huh.
The dromedaries of Midian
Right.
and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come.
Right.
They shall bring gold and incense.
Right.
And they shall show forth the praises of the Lord.
Right. They're going to come to us because they're going to see that the Most High has lifted up the children of Israel. So all these nations are going to come unto us. Go ahead.
All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee.
Go ahead.
They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar.
Go ahead.
And I will glorify the house of my glory.
Right. So the Most High is going to lift up Israel through what he said. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So a lot of these nations are going to be destroyed. Right? Then we're going to have to go set a lot of nations in order. Go ahead.
Who are these that fly as a cloud?
Right? Well, it's Israel. It's Israel. We're going to fly as the clouds in those chariots. Yeah.
Go back real quick. You said the nations are going to be destroyed because they won't.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Okay, so.
And then you got some that are not.
But this is after Israel was lifted up and we got the 144,000.
Right. Remember, when Christ come back, according to Ezra, everybody's going to be amazed. right? Wisdom of Solomon that said they're going to be amazed at the strangeness of your salvation, right? But they're going to be fighting each other. I went over this. They're going to be fighting over each other. America and Russia and all these great things coming about to accumulate this destruction. But before they hit this button, guess who's come? Christ, the Son, is going to come. Because he's not going to let the earth be destroyed. He's going to destroy Babylon. So he's going to have to intervene. And it says they're all going to stop fighting each other and fight the Son of God. Okay? I'm trying to answer your question, then answer your other question too. So, they're going to go and try to fight him and be destroyed. We know that, right? They're going to lose. Okay? Then, what happens from there? The Most High said he's going to take the children of Israel. He's going to plead with us like in the land of Egypt, face to face. Right? Or let me go back. America's destroyed. He's delivering Israel, the chosen. The chosen are going to be brought to this place where he pleads to us face to face. So the Most High is going to deal with us. Okay? The chosen. Right? After that time, remember, we got to get right before we do what?
Get the world right.
Before we get the world right, he said the rebels shall be cast out. The rebels have to be cast out of Israel. There's still going to be niggas amongst us. After all that, there's going to still be rebels. Right? So he said he shall plead with us face to face, like he did with our fathers in the wilderness. That's Ezekiel. You can get that one for me real quick. And then, when we get right, then Isaiah 2, Isaiah 60 can be done. Because we got to get right. Right? You see that? And that's not saying the ones that are twinkle, we going to have it. But you're still going to have cats that are of the 1/3, of the ones that come in at the end. Remember, it says the son shall be given that salvation at the end of the day. They're going to come in the last hour.
Wow.
They're going to say, you know what, I believe, and then 2 days later, Christ is going to come back. But they still got all these impurities, so we got to get them right. We're going to have to get all the ones right, and then we're going to have to go get the nations right. See, because what we're finding out now is these nations up to verse 1 to verse 8, they're going to come and give themselves. A lot of nations. They're going to say, okay, you know what? This ain't no joke, right? But as we read down, we're going to find out we're going to have some disgruntled ones. Everybody's not going to come and bow bending. Everybody's not going to come and give themselves and say, you know what? I'm going to serve the niggas, the spicks, the spooks, the wetbags. I'm going to be the new Aunt Jemima. They're not going to, these cats are not going to believe that. They don't believe it now. You know what I mean? They can't believe it now. You the next kings? No, you're niggers. You're wetbacks. So, read verse 9.
Verse 9.
Uh-huh.
Surely the owls shall wait for me.
Right.
And the ships of Tarshish first.
Right.
To bring thy sons from far.
Right, because we're going to come from, this is something that Yeshaya pointed out to me. He was showing me that, listen, a lot of us are going to be picked up on the chariots, but as you see right here, a lot of our, some is going to be coming from these ships. People are going to be bringing our people back. Go ahead.
There's silver and their gold with them.
Right.
And unto the name of the Lord.
Right. When you look at it, it's just like when we came out of Egypt.
Yeah.
We're going to be coming out of all these countries. He said, I shall gather you from the four corners of the earth. Isaiah 11 and 11, right? On down. And so we're going to be gathered and we're going to be bringing gold with us. We're going to be bringing Jews. Same thing when we came out of Egypt. Go ahead.
Thy power and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee.
Right. Talking about Israel. Go ahead.
And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
So, in what you're asking, yes, all nations aren't going to be destroyed, but they're going to be in captivity. They're going to serve. You see that? Even the ones that come in and try to learn the laws, try to keep the commandments, right? The ones online saying, you know what, Christ is black. You're right? Yeah, it might be a little easier for them. Because why? They already see it in the scriptures. It's easier to submit to. They're like, I'm ready to do this. But that doesn't change what's going to happen. Just like we always say, When Isaiah was in captivity, God didn't come with a chariot and say, you know what, I'm going to deliver you out of this. He died in captivity. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Zechariah, Ezekiel, right? Amos, these cats died. There's only Enoch didn't die. He was translated. Esdras didn't die. He was taken. Right? From what we know, right? These are only cats. Like Moses, it's like, listen, he messed up. He was like, listen, you get to see the kingdom from afar off. And he says there's none greater than Moses, but he had, you see, the Most High don't play is what I'm saying. He don't play. So these nations, according to what we're reading, it's simple. He's telling us, yes, some will come, some will serve willingly, right? But go ahead, read on.
And their king shall minister unto thee.
There you go. Their king shall minister unto you. So a lot of these kings, they're going to come bow, and you know what? You're right. You guys, we lied. Right? Some of them are going to be destroyed. Right? I'd rather die than serve a nigga. Okay, bring him hither. Those mine enemies, bring him hither and slay them before me. That's what Christ is going to say. That's what's going to be done. Go ahead.
For in my wrath I smote thee.
Right.
But in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Yeah, I have had mercy on thee. So he's talking to us. I whipped you. I put you into captivity. I put you in slavery. I put them over you. But I'm having mercy on you. Right. This goes back to Romans 11 on down. He came back and said, all Israel shall be saved. You know, when you come back and look at it, the children the ones that die in this hell, they're gonna, in Christ come back, they're going to be born into a kingdom. They're going to be born into righteousness. Go ahead.
Verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Therefore thy gates shall be open continually.
Go ahead.
They shall not be shut day nor night.
Go ahead.
That men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles.
Go ahead.
And that their kings may be brought.
Right.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee.
So, we get it? The nation shall come to the light. The Gentiles shall come to the light. In the context of what he's telling us, they're going to come to the light whether they will or will not. You see that?
Got it.
It's not in the sense of I get to go ahead and eat with the holy apostles and drink with the holy apostles. Once again, did God do that with the prophets? Hell no, he didn't do that with the prophets. The prophets had to serve slavery with their people. They served captivity with their people. Jeremiah said, my bones are were burnt with heat. He said, when you read Lamentations, he said, my skin is burnt like the oven. It's in Jeremiah or Lamentation. The hell that they were catching, they weren't just black, they were crispy. He was saying the hell they were catching. He's in captivity. He was a prophet, chose amongst all those men. So why would you think, why would the nations get a pass? Why do they get a pass when their forefathers, their people did these things? You see that?
Right.
The Most High is just. They can't just get a pass like that. And how do we know? Because we're reading it in Isaiah 60. We're reading it in Isaiah 14. Right? When we go back and read that whole chapter, which I'm not going to do again. You can go read it yourself. Read on.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish.
Yeah, so you see, this is not a, hey, you want to chill with me and sit down? No, this is servitude.
Let's go have a scotch.
Watch, go, go ahead.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Go ahead.
The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee.
Right.
The fir tree, the pine tree, and the box tree, and the box together, Salah, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious.
Right. I will make the place of my feet glorious. That's the new heaven, the new earth. Right? Heaven is my throne and earth is my footstool. How is he doing this? By putting everybody under Israel, under Christ, under the Most High. You see that? Go ahead.
Verse 14.
The
sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee.
Wait, read it again.
The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee.
You know why I don't like to jump in this chapter? Because that's used in the New Testament. They say that a lot. Oh, the Gentiles shall come to thy light. Yeah, you're right. Let's go read how they're going to come to this light. They're going to come to this light by serving, bending, coming unto you, and knowing that we treated you wrong. Our forefathers lied to you. You see that? Go ahead.
And all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of the...
You see how simple this is? It's telling you. You just read the chapter. You see that? Everyone that despise you. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians. Right? They laughed at your hair, your skin, your color. Right? Go ahead.
At thy feet.
Go ahead.
And they shall call thee the city of the Lord.
Go ahead.
The Zion of the Holy One of Israel.
Go ahead.
Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated.
Right.
So that no man went through thee.
Yeah, nobody wants to be around the black man now. Nobody wants to be around the Mexican man. You're the forsaken and hated. Nobody wants to be next to you. You see that? And this is what corporate America, the political system is getting a wide awakening. They put that damn that red guy up in there. What's his name? Trump. I know his name. I was trying to give him another name. He looks like a dang. This guy is like
Lobster?
Yeah, lobster. Yeah, they gave this lobster, but I like it though because he's showing the epitome of their heart. You see?
Yes.
So we were the forsaken and hated. This dude nominated billionaires in every office.
Yes.
And it's like everybody got money in there. He's like top echelon Illuminati. He's like, kiss my ass. I'm going to put who I want to put it in. and everybody's like, it's unorthodox. This has never happened. But this is his kingdom. Hell yeah. You better live it up. If I was him, I'll put our ass back into slavery. Round these niggas up and put us in slavery. You know why? Because his time is almost up. He better go out with a bang. He better go out with a bang. You got where I'm at?
Isaiah 49 and verse 23.
Go to Isaiah 49:23.
Isaiah 49, verse 23.
Go ahead.
And the kings shall be thy nursing father, and their queens thy nursing mother.
You see that? Kings thy nursing fathers. You see that? They're going to be the new Uncle Ben. Right?
The butler?
The butler?
The new Jeffrey from Fresh Prince?
Yeah, they're gonna be the new servants. Like most of them, I'll put it like this: I don't want Trump to die. Who would want to kill that guy?
Right.
I want him around because he's gonna serve a hard bondage.
I know this.
He's gonna serve a hard bondage.
Wow.
Go ahead.
They shall bow down their knee. I'm sorry, slot. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth.
Go ahead.
And lick up the dust of thy feet. And
that doesn't sound like, hey, you Gentiles get to get what everybody else is getting. When I read the scriptures, I'm not reading that. And that's why we know when the point of getting the word to the world, when he said, I want you to go teach all nations, right? Because they had to know this. They had to know what they're accountable for.
Yeah, no excuses.
There's no excuses. And like I said, there's some people, like I said, those people online that, teaching that Christ is black, that you're not African. Most I might say, okay, well, listen, you get to be a butler, right? You get to nurse my kids. You don't get the whips. You don't get to pick cotton, right? Have you seen Birth of the Nation? You see how they treated you? The Most High said, he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. He that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. So when I look at it and I ask myself, well, dang, the Gentiles, what about them? Unless this right here was taken away and this was all made up, with Isaiah 14, What Isaiah, more chapters. Isaiah 60, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 2, right? I think Isaiah 34, like about the nations being stumped out. Like that would have to be, he would just have to, like Obadiah,
That whole chapter.
like you trying to say all his covenants and his promises, like this is made up? No. This is leading us, this is showing us about our new kingdom. Right? So when we look at this, you try to decipher and look at where the Gentiles are. It don't look like they sitting up there with us with golden cups.
You know what's crazy?
Right.
They brought us into America on slave ships to build their kingdom.
Right.
The scriptures say, reward her double that she's rewarded thee.
Right.
Why do people get upset?
I think it's fair.
Hell yeah.
It's
Why
fair.
why do people get upset or not believe that it can happen?
This can't happen.
Right, that the roles are going to be reversed.
Right.
Why do people not get that?
Why do you think I use the basic logic of the prophets? Think about that. The prophets were righteous. You got to sit there and meditate on that. They were righteous. Why weren't all of them? A chariot just said, hey, come get them.
Yeah.
But the nations, they get a pass. But the holy prophets that spoke the word, stood for righteousness, didn't get a pass? Nah, it don't work like that. It don't work like that, man. Read on. Read on in there.
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Uh-huh.
For they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
Right. You see that? That's why the scriptures say, here's the patience and faith of the saints. Because why are we waiting on the Most High? Why are we doing all this? Because the Most High is going to deliver us. He's going to stick to what he said. Or else it's a lie. Go ahead.
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered?
Go ahead.
But thus saith the Lord, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered.
Right. Go ahead.
For I will contend with him that contendeth with thee.
You see that? I will contend with him that contendeth with thee. Go ahead.
And will save thy children.
And will do what?
Save thy children.
Check that out. Go ahead.
And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh.
Damn.
Check this out.
But that's what happened to us.
Yeah.
In the Maccabees.
Yeah, in the Maccabees, in Lamentations, in Babylon, in all these captivities.
They had us eating our babies.
Yeah.
Double him, reward them double. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
And they shall be drunken with their own blood.
They shall be. You see that? So he's showing you reap what you sow, basically. He's not going to say, listen, we're going to make you sip your own blood. He's saying you're going to, the death that's going to happen to these nations. Remember, the world that's going to be created is for few. That means a lot of blood. 2/3 of Israelites are going to be put to death. That's 2/3 of the sand of the sea. He said the children of Israel is as the sand of the sea. That means 2/3. Ezra says as a drop to a wave. That's how many people are going to die. So that's Israelites. You got to think about how much death there's going to be throughout the world. So a lot of nations are going to die. Go ahead.
And they shall be drunken with their own blood.
Go ahead.
As with sweet wine.
Uh-huh.
And all flesh shall know that I am the Lord, thy Savior, and thy Redeemer,
Read.
the mighty one of Jacob.
Read.
That's the end.
All right, so y'all got that, right? I mean, that's self-explanatory. Like the whole chapter is just, it's very basic. Tells you straight to the point what's going to happen in the future, right? Future kingdom, about them coming to the light. So, there it is. Did you finish Isaiah 49:23 and all that?
Yeah, he went all
You
the
went,
way
okay.
to 26.
Oh, so,
He went 20.
oh, he was in Isaiah 49:23.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Now jump back to Isaiah 60. Let's finish that up.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 15.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 60, verse 15. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency.
Uh-huh.
a joy of many generations.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles.
Yeah, we're going to suck the milk. And we know we're not going to suck the teat. What it's saying is the greatness, the youth,
Yeah.
the fruits of the earth. When you till them, we going to get the first fruits. You don't mess with that. The sons of God get that. Go ahead.
And shalt suck the breast of kings.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer.
Right. You see that? Because we're going to bring it back to Christ. Because it's all through him. You think about what he just said. The Savior and Redeemer is going to do all this. Well, what is it? You're saving everybody in the world, or which one is it? Because that's contradictory. You see how Isaiah puts it in perspective for us, right? Go ahead.
The mighty one of Jacob.
Well, go ahead.
For brass I will bring gold.
Read.
And for iron I will bring silver.
We ain't wearing this no more.
Right.
You don't get that gold on a rope. You don't get that. You know that. This is like.
Oh, the gold on the
Yeah, you don't get that gold on the rope. You gonna get the real gold, real juice.
That Coliseum jewelry.
You don't get that. It's like straight up. It's like yellow. Like nah.
Gold of Euphaz.
We gonna get the real stuff, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And for wood, brass.
Check that out. For wood, brass, the things that think about it. Everything's gonna be turned our way. Go ahead. Listen. What are we here for? When it says the present suffering can't be compared with the glory that's revealed in us, the things we go through, forgiving one another, letting go of grudges, you know what I mean? Working hard to build Israel. What we went over the other day, ministering to the saints. Bro, this ain't gonna be nothing. We gonna be sitting in the kingdom and be like, man, it was worth it.
Yes.
We gonna be sitting having servants and we're gonna say, you know what? It was worth it. You see that? So this is what it means. The present suffering can't be compared with the glory that's gonna be revealed in us. This is nothing. The flyers, you know, I was rapping to one brother. He was like, man, y'all teach every day? Because every time he called me, I'm like, yeah, I'm finna head to class. He's like, y'all don't get no break? I'm like, no. He said, this is not your rest. You know what I mean? We're trying to build this kingdom. We're trying to get closer and stay busy so I won't get caught up in no negative. You know what I mean? I'd rather be busy in righteousness. That way we can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way when you look up, if Christ ain't back and you 80, cool, I could die.
Knowing you did
I
right.
can die knowing I'll be resurrected in righteousness. You see that? Instead of saying, you know what? Damn, I lived my life all wicked, and then you thought what? I'm going to change in the end, like the average rock star. You know what I mean? Now I want to believe in Jesus.
You have to.
Go ahead.
And for stones, iron.
Right?
I will also make thy officers peace.
Right?
And thine exactors righteousness.
Read.
Violence shall no more be heard in thy land.
Uh-huh.
Wasting nor destruction within thy borders.
Go ahead.
But thou shalt call thy walls salvation.
Read.
And thy gates praise.
Right. Our walls are going to be salvation. Why? Because we're going to, through Christ being there, it represents salvation through him. Go ahead.
The sun shall be no more thy light by day.
Uh-huh.
Neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee.
Go ahead.
But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light.
Right, because the city of Jerusalem is going to be beyond just mortals. You're dealing with gods. The city of Jerusalem ain't going to be just mortals. It ain't going to be, you don't get to go in there being a mere mortal, right? You have to be a god. Go ahead.
And thy power, thy glory.
Uh-huh.
Thy sun shall no more go down.
Uh-huh.
Neither shall thy moon withdraw itself.
Read.
For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light.
Go ahead.
And the days of thy mourning shall be ended.
Right. Read.
Thy people also shall be all righteous.
Check that out. That's beautiful, right? Right back with Jeremiah 31:31, which we went over. The law shall be in our inward parts. We will no longer teach his neighbor. Right? Go ahead.
They shall inherit the land forever.
Uh-huh.
The branch of my planting. The work of my hands.
Right.
That I may be glorified.
Check that out. Because this is really about the Most High. It's really about setting things right and how the earth should be. but he's using Israel. And once again, for brothers that thought the nations were going to be, another point that Yeshaya had to edify me on, he was saying that they're not going to serve slavery forever. That hard bondage, they're not going to serve that forever. It's only going to be for a certain time. So, and then they're going to be, of course, you're still going to be the head. You see that? But you know how they got us now? As opposed to slavery? You see that? It's going to be like that. They're going to have to look to us for everything, get everything from us, right? Shackles forever. Go ahead.
A little one shall become 1,000.
Listen, and this is look out for our next show that we're going to be doing on the cable show. It says a little one. The one you thought was insignificant. You remember the one with, he's not King David. He's not Zechariah, Amos.
He don't got no book in the Bible.
Yeah, he don't got no book in the Bible, right? Go ahead.
And a small one, a strong nation.
Listen, the least Israelite is going to be a strong nation. That's the glory that the Most High is going to do for the chosen of Israel. You see?
God.
So what we're fighting for is beyond imagination. You can't imagine it. Now, you brothers and sisters a lot don't know what we're fighting for. Why do you think we're so strong in this? You think I would just... You think I could just face living this life? I said it the other day. I can't just live this life and that's it. It's got to be more than this. Slavery, a 9 to 5, and that's it. You die.
Yeah.
You pay bills. I look at our elders, man. They work at Walmart. Every time you go in there, 60, 70. Listen, the white man got his own people in there.
Yeah.
Like old as hell. When they supposed to be sucking the teat of this kingdom. Why do you think the white man's mad now? They're like 1% of America. They've been cheated out of their own constitution. They've been cheated out of their own riches and glory. So they're upset now. They're like, damn, wait a minute. We're not abiding by the... It's too late, though. It's too late. Your kingdom is plummeting. It's going down.
So,
But you think that's it? We get rich and die trying? That's life? I cannot believe it. That's why I believe this above all. You believe in your job. You believe in your little life. Is that it? Don't you know when you get older, itself, being older, you start to not care about the small things no more? You know what I mean?
that's right.
You realize that, drinking was fun. That ain't fun no more.
Right.
Now, this is just here on this earth. Right? Going out with friends. I'm not doing that. I'm staying home with family. Right?
Yeah.
This is just getting older. You think about that mind state when you get older. Right? And that's it? You just sitting at home, old, and waiting to die. The Most High said He created us to be immortal.
God.
He created us to be immortal. That's what we're fighting for. We're fighting to be immortal. Not to be like, you know what? Look at my Benz. Look at my ride. Nigga, look at my TV, nigga. I'm good. That ain't nothing.
Sure ain't.
That ain't nothing. We're trying to transition like Christ, where He was able to move from the 4th dimension to the 3rd dimension. Like this. Like the angels. While cats is fighting for them, you know what I mean? I just want the Most High to bless me for a job. Come, I want that too. But the white man got you thinking on a small level. You want to take the block. We're talking about taking the universe. We're talking about taking the universe.
Yeah, they don't even want the block.
They don't even want the block. They want the corner. They want the damn
Corner,
space. Yeah. They want the space they preside in at that time. This is my block. No, it ain't. So, once again, this present suffering can't be compared to the glory that's revealed in us. We're waiting. This is the patience and faith of the saints. We're waiting for all these promises. What the hell? He made all these promises and He's going to go back on them? He said, my word will not go out void. We're waiting for payback. So, I mean, I can go all night with that. I can go all night. question. Very good topic. Let's go ahead and go to the next question.
Sir,
Next question.
What you got?
I just something I wanted to throw in.
Yeah.
Because you were saying that thinking about the present suffering
Yeah.
to the glory that's come, and it made me think. I always think about this that Yahweh Shai said, Matthew chapter 26, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. So it's like I think about hanging out with Christ, and we having a good time with him.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not. You know what? I'm setting this aside.
Right.
And then we're not gonna party
For
until
my
you
brothers.
get here.
For my brothers, right?
Right.
No more drinking for me till I sit back down with y'all in the kingdom.
Right.
That's powerful. Very good point. Very good point. And that's what we're fighting for, man. So we restrain.
Come.
We refrain.
Come.
We imprison ourselves, like Paul said. I'm a prisoner for Christ. Why? Because he knows that the glory, right? And I know I don't want to touch on your class, but let's go ahead and listen. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go over a few more questions real quick, and then we'll go into his class, because this is a topic. I mean, listen, this ain't it. We can still go over chapters and chapters and chapters on the payback, the revenge, the prophecy of what the Most High said. Like, it don't stop here. You know what I mean? And we've done it many times. It's just, we've hit on that point. Go ahead.
Another question. Should we love our enemies?
Should we
Should
love?
we love our enemies? Go to Luke 6:27.
Yeah. You should love your enemies. Because the Most High said, bear not a grudge against thy people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you thought that was talking about the nations? Listen, the law was given to the Israelites. Now, does that, let's bring both sides. Does that mean you go around and start beating up white folks or Africans or Chinese? No. We didn't do that either. So don't try to use that as we got to go kill them. No, we don't. Vengeance is not yours. So we're supposed to love our enemies of our people. We're supposed to turn the other cheek to our people. So go to Leviticus 19. What is it? Leviticus 19 in the law, real quick. What is it? 19 and bear not a grudge against.
17.
Is it 19:17? Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Yeah.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt not in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and suffer sin upon him.
I mean, that's clear right there. The scriptures is telling you, you don't supposed to bear any grudge against your people. You don't supposed to hate them. Remember, once again, another good one. We can go into depth with this one, and we've had many times touched on this. Go ahead.
18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Of thy people. Remember, when the nations came into us, we went to war. We weren't playing with them. We weren't turning no other cheek. We weren't turning the other cheek. That's why you got to understand the law was given to you. So yeah, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. You understand? And in this day and age, really, if somebody hits you in a car, if a Gentile hits you in a car, do you just turn your car around and run it back into them? No, you don't. So use your brains. We don't render evil for evil either. And that's the point that Christ made when you go to the New Testament. So no, we don't supposed to hate our enemies of your people. You know what I mean? Now, as far as the Gentiles, a lot of y'all don't even know what real hate is towards them. You think hate is color. I hate them because they're skin. We don't hate the white man for that.
Or because they're a Gentile.
Yeah, or because they're a Gentile. Or you an African, you dirty African.
There's clean Africans.
There's clean Africans. That's not why we was against the nations. We were against the nations because they didn't follow the laws of the Most High. They didn't follow the commandments of the Most High. So, no, we didn't hate them because they were just that another nation. We hated because they didn't follow the commandments. They were worshiping idols. They were following the philosophies. So, you know, do we go around and like run around like, you dumbass African, I hate you?
Some people do that, but no.
Yeah, we know some people do it because they're ignorant as hell and they don't look at all the Bible. Take into account David. He had an Edomite servant. He had African.
Didn't it say he built garrisons for the Edomites?
Yeah.
That's like a whole housing scheme.
Right, listen. He had an Edomite servant. Doeg the Edomite.
Doeg.
He had an African in the military, which was Uriah the Hittite. He made a covenant. He got from one of the kings. Was it him or Solomon? Well, we know that he had leagues with all African nations. David. So you got, once again, Israelites choosing some part and not the whole part that brings the big picture. Just because the nations are going to go into captivity and slavery, we were still this standard. You're not going to do it by your hand. The Most High is going to do it. We're not going to do anything. We're going to sit back and wait on the Most High to deliver us, then give us the power. So we got to put things in context and understand that how to deal with them. We dealt with the nations with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We didn't go around like belligerent brutes and animals yelling at every nation. You're a damn Chinese gook. I hate you. We didn't do that. We didn't do that in the Bible. You know, Moses had an Ethiopian wife. You think every time he lay with her, he was like, "You're a dirty ass Ethiopian. Look at your big ass head." He didn't do that. He didn't do that. Solomon, he dealt with his concubines. Obviously he went off, right? But when he was in the right mind, he was doing the laws and commandments and righteousness, right? So you had these men that kept the laws. Wait a minute, didn't Samson deal with a woman of another nation? Huh? We gotta double check that. Double check that. I thought Samson dealt with a woman of another nation.
Yeah, I think he did.
But at the same time, go back and look at how these Israelite men dealt with them.
Talking about Delilah?
Huh?
Talking about Delilah?
What? Or the one before her. No. It might have been. Was Delilah?
That's the one that tricked them.
Yeah. We got to double check that. I don't want to misspeak on that.
Right.
But I thought it was. But you know, just showing that when you go through this history, you start to see how we dealt with the other nations. It wasn't Christ didn't deal with the other nations like that. You know what I mean? We didn't do that. You know, think about the Ethiopian he sat with, right? One minute he checked one, the other one, he who was that? Philip? That gave understanding in the book of Isaiah? I think it was Philip. So we knew we weren't supposed to deal with the Gentiles, but when we dealt with them, you think we was just like kicking up dust at them like, get away, shoo! Nah, we weren't doing that. So put things in perspective. Now, I was supposing that your question was hate against the brother, because in the law, you weren't supposed to hate your brother. And your brother was your brother that was your supposedly enemy, because history itself shows us that the hate that we had for the Amorites, the Jebusites, the Gergesites, we went to war with them, right? The Assyrians, the Persian and Medes, we went to war with them. You see that? So, you know, there was the hatred for the disdain against them not keeping the laws of the Most High. And if the scriptures we just went over, if they're going to come and serve the laws of the Most High, obviously what? The Most High don't hate them that much, right? They're going to follow the laws in the kingdom to come, right?
Come.
We know that Esau Esau when you go to Romans 9:13. But the other nations, they're the ones that they're going to get whooped and they're going to serve the Most High. They're going to follow the laws. The Most High has a vendetta against Esau because he's been against his brother. So he's a different, when you talk about nations and then Esau, you're talking about a whole different thing. A whole different thing. Esau, that Obadiah puts a difference between the ass whooping of what the other nation's going to get and what Esau is going to get. All right? So, Ecclesiasticus 28 verse 1. Ecclesiasticus 28 verse 1. And this is on bearing the grudge. This is on hating your brother. Or hating your enemy.
It's in Apocrypha, right?
28:1.
The Apocrypha?
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 28:1 in the Apocrypha.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 28 verse 1.
Uh-huh.
He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord.
Right, so we weren't supposed to revenge. We weren't supposed to bear a grudge. If you try to revenge your against anybody. Because if you know the wicked is the hand of the Lord. Right? If somebody came up and blew your brother's brains out, who did that?
Most High.
Most High did that. You don't get a chance to say, I'm going to go kill this nigga, he's a wicked Gentile. No, you don't. You're going to sit back because the Most High used them. Just like the nations, the Most High used them to put us in captivity, right? Wasn't he dealing with those kings back then?
Come.
Who set them up?
Most High.
Most High. Yeah, it's because of our punishment, but he set them up, right?
Come.
These are the things we don't think about. Go ahead.
And he will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
Yeah, the Most High will keep your sins in remembrance. Because the vengeance is from the Lord. The vengeance is of the Lord. Especially when you deal with your brother. You try to go revenge and pay him back and render evil for evil. The Most High is he's going to remember when you face the east, he's going to remember your sins. Go ahead.
Forgive thy neighbor the hurt he hath done unto thee.
Go ahead.
So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest.
I mean, that's self-explanatory. You want your sins to be forgiven, you better not bear that grudge, and you better forgive your brother. Go ahead.
One man beareth hatred against another.
Right.
And doeth he seek pardon from the Lord?
That's a question. You bear hatred against your brother, but then you try to pray to the Most High. Shame on you. Go ahead.
He showeth no mercy to a man, which is like himself.
Uh-huh.
And doeth he ask forgiveness of his own sin?
Yeah. The Most High is showing you there's no way. How the heck are you going to have the nerve to go pray for forgiveness, but you hate your cousin that owe you $50? You hate old girl that, she stole your boyfriend. You're like, Most High ain't dealing with that. He wants you to forgive. Go ahead.
If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, who will entreat the... can I start over?
Yeah.
If he that is but flesh nourish hatred...
Right. You that are but flesh nourish hatred. You walking around with that hate in your heart. Go ahead.
Who will entreat for pardon of his sins?
Yeah. Then who's going to forgive you for your sins? So this is what the Most High... Listen. The knowledge brings us on a higher level. We weren't skinheads walking around talking about, I'm going to break me a cracker. I'm going to bust me a cracker. We weren't doing that. We get brothers and sisters get the Bible twisted. They think because the nations are going to come down or we dealt with them, we're going to deal with them in a certain way, that's hatred because of their skin color. No, that's hatred because God's hatred was righteous. Because they went too far. When they put us in captivity and slavery, it ain't got nothing to do with color. Because the Africans are going to slavery and they black as hell. So, don't get it twisted. Alright? So, just on the hate part, hopefully we answered that question. There's,
And Samson did have a Gentile wife.
yeah, it's Delilah.
But her, it said all three of his wives.
Well, Gentiles.
Gentile, but Delilah, it doesn't.
It doesn't specific say it.
Right, but she was from Gaza, which was Palestine.
Okay. Well,
but the one they
the
first
one
two
there's
they didn't name.
there you go.
She was a Palestine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I thought I read that myself
Yeah. It's like Judges 4.
because I remember when you read it, they were like, "Why don't you get a woman of your people?" That's what, if I remember correctly. You know, I'm kind of fuzzy on the chapter, but yeah, he had it. The point of me going over into that is to show that we dealt with the other nations with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Yeah, we know we don't supposed to be running out going to get and deal with these women in these other nations like that, but you could see during these times we had the knowledge, we had a standard. We had a standard about ourselves. Okay? All right, so where are we at?
Oh, here it is.
Where is that?
Judges 14 and 3, which we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
They asked him, won't you get a wife for the daughters of your people?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So, yes.
So are the Edomites our enemies? Do we hate them?
No, because it says, abhor not an Edomite. Remember, greater is he that is in you than he's in the world. Right? Why is Esau coming down? Why is Esau got to be brought down? Because it said the hatred, the violence against thy brother Jacob. Yeah. So the Most High gave us a law and said, we don't supposed to be rolling around with this hatred. Vengeance is the Lord's. They're going to do it. You see that? Because brothers to say that, well, God hated Esau. Right, he hated Esau. There's a lot of things that God done and said that we're not supposed to do. Right? He said, you don't supposed to bear envy or jealousy, right? But he came back and said, I'm a jealous God. Right? So there's a lot of things that the Most High said not to do. Why? Because on your level, you don't even really know how to contain it. You don't even really think about it. The hatred, David said it. Oh Lord, I hate them that hate you.
Right.
That hate you with the perfect hatred. Why? He didn't say, oh Lord, I hate them because their skin is lighter. Oh Lord, I hate them because they did this to me.
Or they hate them. I hate them because they hate me.
Yeah, I hate them because they hate me. He said, oh Lord, I hate them that hate you. He said, he said with a perfect hatred. Why? Because they hated the Most High. So why do we dislike them? Why do we have anger and bitterness towards them? Because they hate the Most High. You see that? What?
Someone's asking if you can give edification on the passage, do not abhor an Edomite.
There's nothing to edify. It says, do not abhor an Edomite.
Because he's your brother.
They haven't got it yet. They haven't got the link, what we're saying yet. They haven't got to that yet. But yeah, the scriptures say abhor not an Edomite. Exactly that. So we don't supposed to be walking around with this, you know what? You see your brother get shot on tape, right? Alden Sterling. Now you get a gun and you go want to kill them. Because that's where that hatred can motivate you to do. I know it does in me. I know when I let that spirit consume me, it makes me want to get guns and just kill these bastards. But that's how I know my hatred is not like the hatred of the Most High. You start being motivated by carnal emotions as opposed by the will of the Most High. You know what the will of the Most High is? Vengeance is mine. You see that? So the hatred of the Most High wasn't our hatred. You see that? We weren't supposed to go around abhorring Esau and hating them like they hated us.
Because they do it out of emotion.
Yeah.
And so will you.
Yeah.
Everything's emotional. The Most High don't deal with those emotions. He got reasons why he does his revenge.
There you go.
Exact his vengeance.
Yeah.
And then his revenge is so much sweeter than what we can do on our own.
Bro, it's like a symphony.
Every day.
It's like a symphony
It's every day.
being orchestrated.
Yeah.
It's
Most
crazy.
High is beautiful with it.
Yeah.
All you got to do is wait
Mm-hmm.
and be patient. You know, and we know this is taking some time, but guess what? Let's just wait. His time is coming to an end. Yeah.
The same brother is asking, in Hebrew, is it the same context of Abhor, not Edomite?
Abhor, not an Edomite? A good question. You know what? We're going to look that up. We're going to look up that in Hebrew. Good question. I looked it up a while back, but not recently. Because we get this question a lot. Where's it at again? Deuteronomy 23 verse 7. Abhor, to abhor, detest, right? To loathe. It's tha'ib. Tha'ib. It's not a ta, that's a tha. That tha'ib.
Oh,
Tha'ib.
okay.
See, yeah, remember that's the so-called Jews.
Yeah.
See how they say it? They say ta'ab. But it's tha'ib, the correct ancient Hebrew way. But it's in the ritual sense, the ethical sense, to cause to be an abomination, to make abominable. See? A primitive root is to loathe, right? That is morally detest. So the word abhor in there is the same thing. Now, give me the complete Jewish Bible. Let's see in here. Because the complete Jewish, yeah, it's a blue one. The complete Jewish is supposed to be a direct translation. All right. And then give me the interlinear in there. Give me the interlinear. Yeah, that blue one. Yeah, give me that one. So this is a good one right here, Hebrew and Greek. The interlinear one. You got to check a few different sources. So Deuteronomy, what is it?
23 and verse 7.
23 and 7. Deuteronomy 23 verse 7. Ye shall not despise an Edomite, or for he is your brother. Okay, so we look at the word here. They got seven. La Thaha I. Yeah, same word, abhor. La it says la or no. Thaha I. Don't abhor, don't hate. It's the same word. And that when you look in here, that word despise, hate, it's all the same meaning, to hate.
Same thing. You should do, but you are not to detest.
Right, and here, and which we read, if you look up the Hebrew word, and these are a few different ones. The complete Jewish is supposed to be a good translation for the Hebrew, all right? But if you're not satisfied with that, then you got the interlinear, got that. If you're not satisfied with that, then you got the Strongs that go, give me the blue one you picked up at first. It's the Bullinger.
And see, in the complete Jewish, it says the test.
Yeah.
When you look up the word test, it means to strongly or to dislike intensely.
Yeah.
So it's almost,
To hate.
it goes into hate.
It's a hate.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Or you got here the New Bridge Driver Genius Hebrew English Lexicon, and that's what this
Oh, that goes with the
BDD?
sword? Yeah.
BDD. That's what that is. It's the
Oh.
Briggs Blue. It's
Nice.
that one right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the one you're using when you use what's up, sis?
He also asked, does it say Edomite in Hebrew text? He was told it meant Assyrian.
Assyrian. 23 verse 7, does it say Esau? Let's see here. I ain't never heard of that. When somebody said Deuteronomy 23 verse 7 said Assyrian, not Edomite. That would be a bad translation, bro. But let's see what it says, Edomite. Nah, that's Adawam.
Adawam, yeah.
That's Esau. That's Edom. We'll go back into Hebrew. Let's go back in there. I mean, you can do it when you write it. It's a little more technical when you look in there. You gotta know how to use that Briggs.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's gangster.
But it goes with the Strongs. 32 verse 7.
Okay.
32 verse 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Esau, Edom, Adawam. It don't say Assyrian. I have never heard that. That's actually the first time.
You know what that's about.
He said, what did he say? The word Edom, look at translation Syrian. Cause how? Nah, bro. You gotta repeat that, Julian. The word in Deuteronomy 20 is Edomite. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's Edomite. Okay, I understand. I'm sorry, the text came through weird, but yeah, it's Edomite. It is Edomite. So it's not Syrian or Assyrian. So, and we just used 4 different resources right there. Usually, when you want to go about the Hebrew, that's what you do. You have four. You can go 5. Your brother say it's safe for 3. You know what I mean? But you look at those words and make sure it matches up. So, all right, man. I think we got that point, right? What else? What time is it? It's going to be 9 o'clock? All right. So, brothers and sisters, we hope we answered those questions on there. Good questions. Once again, we thank y'all for that. And I'm just going to let him, he's going to go into this class. We only got an hour left, so we're going to try to touch on a lot of these scriptures on here. And if we didn't answer your question, come back, and then we will answer your question. For you brothers and sisters that are not going to stay for the class, check out our cable shows. Check out our like, share, subscribe. Every class we go over, we do like we just did today. We touch on every questions, and usually some of the classes just end up being questions. So a lot of these questions you're asking, if you look at our old classes, you'll see it's repetitive. A lot of the YouTube, Facebook questions like this, Abhor not Edomite. We went over that 100 times. The Esau is Japhet. We went over that 100 times. What else? What are some other basic ones?
Oh, that we went over? Oh,
like basic.
Hate your enemy.
Right, hate your enemy.
Should you love your enemy? We've done that a few times.
Your brother, rendering evil for evil, vengeance is the Lord. A lot of questions that you get, we answer them over and over again. Or if you haven't asked, if you check out our other classes, you'll say, oh, damn, they answered this one. So check that out on there too. And you can look at our other classes. Okay, and when you like, share, subscribe, that helps us out. All right, so go ahead, Doc.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Somebody give me Romans 13 and 11. So basically the topic of the class, we're going to be going over submitting. And I mean, today is what? Sisters class, right?
Somewhat.
I mean,
for everybody.
obviously it's for everybody. But we're going to be going over submitting. And, a lot of people have the misconception that when you come to do this work, that you're submitting or you're doing it for a man's sake.
Right. And
that's not the case. When you really figure out what your purpose is, you realize that we're here for the Most High. We should be doing things for the Most High.
And I think that's why it's so hard, right? For women.
Yeah, that's why it's hard.
Because you got the physical man there and you're saying, well, you're telling me to be submissive to you.
Yeah.
You're telling me to submit to you.
Yeah.
And what we're going to try to do is push the man out of the way for a second to show you that you have to first be submissive to the Most High.
Most High first. You gotta know the Most High as well.
Yeah.
Read that for me. Romans 13 and verse 11. Mm-hmm.
Romans chapter 13, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And that, knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep.
Yeah, so this is the time that we're awaking out of sleep. We're supposed to be waking up to the things that are going on around us. We're supposed to be waking up spiritually, right? We're supposed to be getting out of sleep. You women, you're supposed to be getting out of the slumber that you've been in for how many years you've been alive. Even women that say they're a part of the truth. Some of y'all slumber. Some of y'all are still asleep. Read on.
For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe.
Yeah, our salvation is nearer than when we believe. Your salvation is more nearer than you know. Christ is coming. If y'all don't see the things that are happening around, just throughout the world, look at the things that are happening in your life. Your salvation is nearer than you believe, but there's a method to your salvation. There's a method. You gotta know, for one, how are you going to be saved? Why? And what do you have to do to be saved? So the salvation is near, but how do I attain it? What is the method? Read.
Verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
The night is far spent.
The night is far spent. Read.
The day is at hand.
The day is coming. Read.
Let us therefore cast off the works of
We're
darkness.
supposed to do what?
Cast off the works of darkness.
We're supposed to be casting off the works of darkness. If we're dealing with submissiveness or submitting to the will of the Most High, and you're not getting why you should be submitting to the Most High, or why it's important, or why it's a valuable thing, you're still in darkness. You're not trying to cast that off. You're not trying to come to the light. Read on.
Let us put on the armor of light.
Yeah, that armor of light, once you realize, okay, let me bow down, everything I'm doing it for the Most High. Sisters, if you got a husband, you got to remember, everything you do, from stitching a garment to cooking a meal, whatever it may be, to raising them kids, the direction is coming from your husband. Because guess what? You're in the dark. He's that light. He's that head, that covering that's supposed to bring you into that light. You got to have a man do it. The Most High is not just going to shine down and start talking to you. He doesn't do that. He doesn't even do that for us as men. You see that? Because there's an order to everything, and we're going to get into all that. But read on.
Verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let us walk honestly.
No, that's it. That's it on that. So, sisters, even brothers, got to just realize that the time is coming where we got to wake up to what's going on around us. We got to see the evils. We got to see the good. We got to see why the Most High has set up the things the way He has set them up. Why He put His ordinances into place. It's not a man putting his away. It's not a man trying to make a way to have sisters just under him or sisters just submitting. This is the Most High, first and foremost. Y'all get that?
Come on.
So what we're understanding is we got to submit. Even brothers, we got to submit to the Most High first. You see that? Go to Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 1.
Understanding that concept of submitting.
Understand the concept. What does it even entail? And somebody give me the definition of submit.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you got to get it, because
you got it.
if you don't know what it is, I mean, everybody hears, oh, you submit. Okay, well, everybody has a negative connotation on the word submit.
Right.
Or submissive. Even in fighting, when you submit, it's like you lost.
Right.
I beat you by submission.
Right.
But in this case of trying to attain righteousness, this is one of the things that we all have to do. We all got to submit. Christ had to submit. You see that? Christ had to submit to the Most High's will. So if there's an order to things, how much more us? How much more us being on this earth doing the wickedness have to submit to the things that are above us to get us right? Because that's what it's about. It's not about just submitting to submit. It's about submitting to pull you out of that dark. Mm-hmm. because that salvation is near. Read that. Ephesians 5 and verse 1.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Be ye therefore followers of God.
Wait, you got to follow who?
God.
Kazakia.
God.
Me.
God.
It says follow God. Read.
As dear children.
As children. You know why you got to follow? Somebody, Volante, why did it say as children? Follow God as children.
Because the children are they're naive, they don't know.
Right.
And so whatever instructions that you have and you're telling them, being that you're their parent over them.
They recognize you as their what?
Their parent.
But you're what?
You're over
They
them.
recognize you. We talked about it in the car.
Right.
About your brother and sister when they were younger. They followed you at the drop of a dime when you said, no, yes, no, do that, don't do that. But as they got older, what happened? They were like, well, I'm an adult too.
Right.
I gotta follow you. I gotta listen to you.
Right.
But the Most High said, it says, follow God as dear children. Because yes, children are easy to be led. You can put what you want into a child. They're malleable. They're like little sponges. They soak things up, and they don't have any. They're not gonna hold a grudge. They're not gonna refute. But they recognize the authority figures. They recognize it's funny. Children recognize the order. They recognize the order. Oh, those are my parents. I gotta listen. I might rebel a little bit, but they recognize grown-ups. They recognize that they're the subordinate. And that's the one thing that we don't recognize a lot when it comes to the order. God, Christ, man, woman, child. A lot of times it's God, if you let a lot of people tell it, it's like God and woman. And then Christ, and then man. Just the way that, from people's actions and the way they act and the way they bring things across. You see that? But it says, read that again.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1. Be ye followers of God as dear children.
Yeah, we got to make sure that we're following the Most High first and foremost. It said, be followers of God as dear children. Because children are like little sponges, man. They soak it all up. If I tell my son to go run in the street right now, just go, he'll go. He won't even ask a question, he'll go. But this is the thing. Because when it says, be ye followers of God as dear children, you know the one thing that children, they don't think, because children are always going to feel like we have their best interest at hand, right? I mean, think about it. You feed a child, you clothe a child. A child's not going to think like their parent or the person above them is going to hurt them. So they're just going to follow. You see that? They're going to do whatever you say. They're not thinking like this person's going to run me into the street to get killed. You see that? But a lot of times, sisters, man, and brothers, when the order is dropped or when something's told, it's like, well, why do I got to do that? Or how come I have to do this? As if the person that's telling them is trying to get them hurt, which if you're dealing with a righteous brother, that's definitely not the case. Shawashina, yes? Oh yeah, give me that definition of submit. What you got?
To commit to the discretion of judgment of another.
It says to commit to the discretion or judgment of another. So we know that us in here, we're all attaining to be righteous, right? We're all attaining to get that twinkle, right? So we're rehearsing the righteous acts. We're trying to walk as Christ. So we know that if a sister is to submit to a brother that's doing righteous, his judgment should be righteous, right? So it shouldn't be, why I got to do that, or why'd you tell me like this, or I don't want to do that, and that spirit of disdain, that spirit of rebelliousness, right? It shouldn't be, right? But how come it is sometimes? How come that's there?
Because they don't want to feel like they're bowing down to you.
Yeah, because you know what the problem is? You're looking at men.
Right.
Instead of looking at, what's that, Shawashina?
I was going to say what you say. We don't trust their judgment.
Right.
Looking at whatever mistakes they had, so we're not trusting that. We think that they're going to lead us wrong. We want to do our own thing.
You want to do your own thing, right? But the thing that sisters forget is there's a reason why in Corinthians the Most High gave an order.
Mm-hmm.
Even brothers, I'm gonna say sisters and brothers. I don't want to just harp it only on sisters.
True.
But there's a reason why the Most High set coverings over us.
Mm-hmm.
And little, like you see the picture, like it's up there, the umbrella, the big umbrella, and then the little umbrellas under, God, Christ, man, woman, child. Because each one is supposed to cover the other. From what? From evil, right? That's what it's supposed to be. So, I mean, that was a great answer, Shwashana. Yeah, I mean, but the problem is, it's like you said, you're looking at a man and his faults. But what about the many times that man saved your life? What about the many times when he took you, that very man saved you from just little small things, or counseled you on this and got your mind right, or said, hey, take a left here, and you avoided some huge accident? What about those times? How come nobody ever looks at, forget about looking at a man's faults. How about now look at the good things that happened when you submitted? How come sisters don't do that? Shawashana? Shawashana might be the only sister here. What's going on?
Oh, maybe you're questioning their motives. You don't trust their, why they're doing anything just for side reason.
Right.
Or maybe
Filthy
you think,
lucre.
Or maybe you think you're right. Your thinking is better than.
Than they're thinking, right? Yeah.
It all comes back down to lack of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Because, when it comes to anything we do, we have to remember if it's towards the Most High, did the Most High put me here? And I always say this, use this as example.
Mm-hmm.
You went to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Churches were teaching truth mixed with lies, right?
Come.
You ran with
But
it.
you cried,
Mm-hmm.
you prayed, you seen something was wrong, right?
Come.
The Spirit revealed it through the scriptures, right?
Come.
So did the Most High leave you?
Wow.
Right? He never left you. So based on that one analogy, that one example, if you look at your life, the Most High has never let you down. See, but the problem with Israelites is usually what? They're faithless. So I cannot submit because I'm, what's the word? Pessimist?
Pessimist? Yeah. A pessimist?
Yeah. What is a pessimist?
Pessimist, antagonist? You mean those?
A pessimist, yeah.
I gotta look that one.
They're negative.
What is it, Shawashana?
It's me.
Khan.
A pessimist is
What is
someone who finds the negative, not negative, but like how always can go wrong.
Look up the word.
They find the negative in everything?
What?
Tending to see the worst aspect of things or believing the worst will happen.
Now,
Oh, pessimist. Yeah.
that word is a negative word. You should never want to be called a pessimist. Why? Why? Because as a man thinketh, so is he. And the scriptures say, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. The scripture comes back and says, hope for the good.
Yeah.
It don't say hope for the worst. It says hope for the good. So a pessimistic mind state is Israelites. They're always looking for the worst or negative in everything because they lack faith in the Most High to say, wait a minute, Jesus has the will. So this is why I can't do that. Why? Because I'm looking at you, bro. With a pessimistic outlook. And that's why I use that word, because now I'm looking at you, I'm like, why? Volante, I gave you that. What you do with it, huh? You're like,
Yeah, like what's your
whatever
motives?
you wanted to, I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Right? But that's the outlook why a person really second questions and second guesses, because they're too pessimistic, and it lingers them into lack of faith, lack of believing, and therefore what? Your outlook to the pure what?
All things are pure.
To the pure what?
All things are pure.
But him that is defiled what? He's a damn pessimist.
Pessimist. So the opposite of that would be an optimist,
Right.
right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
He's optimistic.
Optimistic. Yeah.
Right.
Hoping
Hope
for the good.
he says, I'm hoping for all things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's where we're supposed to be at. Like, oh, the Most High is going to be with this. Long as I'm following the commandments, statutes, I cannot see everything, all the steps, all the moves, but I know this. If I do the will of the Most High, I'm going to be led in the spirit of the Most High. That's the point. That's our whole path defined in one statement. You open up the door, you can't see in. But knowing you're with the spirit of the Most High, if you're doing wickedness, you know, it's like you go in your house. Open up the door, you wait like 1:20, right? You late at night, you walking up to your house, you open up the door, the little chill goes up your back, your arms, your legs, because you don't know if somebody's going to jump up out the corner and be like, give me some of that. You going to give me that chon, right?
God.
Right? Well, the righteous don't have to.
You got to worry about that.
They don't fear. Why? Because they know I got the Most High with me. The reason why you fear, you second question everything is why? You're not doing the will of the Most High. You're not locking in. You're not giving yourself the way the Most High says. So that's why you look at things that way. To the pure, all things are pure. But him that his conscience is defiled, nothing is pure. Because his whole outlook is jacked up.
Plus, you know what this goes into also? It's like you said, you got to fear because you're not doing the will of the Most High. You're not fully committed. You're not coming from that darkness into the light. Because when you're in that light, you ain't got no fear. You see that? You don't have no fear when you're in that light. Oh. Go to Colossians 3:17. So we're seeing pessimistic. I like that. Pessimist and optimist.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, somebody uses that a lot. Go ahead.
God. Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17.
Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17.
Right. So we're seeing basically, one of the reasons why sisters got problems submitting to their man or to the order, you gotta first see where it's coming from. You gotta first submit to the Most High and know that the Most High is real. Read that.
Colossians chapter 3 verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks.
Wait. So we're supposed to do some things?
All things.
Some things, a little bit?
Whatsoever.
Right? Whatsoever you do. You're supposed to do what?
All in the name of the Lord Jesus.
Right. You're supposed to be doing this all, first of all, in the name of the Lord. You're supposed to be doing everything to Christ and not to men. That's one. Because when you start doing things to men, y'all gotta understand, men are gonna break your heart. And I'm not just talking about sisters. Men are gonna break your heart because men are always gonna come different in different ways. It might be, soft one day, and here goes that harsh talk. And you're like, damn, why is he talking to me harshly? That's gonna break your heart. Because you're so used to getting it one way, and all of a sudden that man might be having a bad day. He might just flash on you real quick. And all of a sudden you're like, man, why you talk to me that way? You're in your emotions. But if you're looking at Christ, those emotions are out the door. Right? Read on.
Giving thanks to God and the Father by him.
Right. You're supposed to be giving thanks to the Most High. Go to Romans. Go to Romans 6 and 13.
Romans chapter 6 verse 13.
So we're seeing that the first we got to recognize the Most High, man, in all things. We got to see that the Most High is the one in control, ultimately. He's the one that we all should be submitting to. Ultimately. And sisters that got husbands and submitting to the Most High and doing the will of the Most High, you'll see that now entangles your husband. That now intertwines your husband as that direct connect. But read that. Where you at? Romans 6 and 13.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 13.
Right.
Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin.
Right. You're supposed to come out of that darkness like it's set up in Romans. In Romans 13. You're supposed to not yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness to sin, but read.
But yield yourselves unto God.
To who?
Unto God.
Unto me.
Unto God.
Unto Volante?
Unto God.
You gotta yield yourself unto the Most High. Read.
As those that are alive from dead.
Mm-hmm.
From the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And your members as instruments of righteousness unto God.
Right, because then now your members will be instruments of righteousness unto the Most High. But you got to see, if you're yielding yourself or submitting yourself to that to sin, you're not going to be righteousness for the Most High. You're not going to be used as righteousness. You see that? Y'all with me?
Con.
From there, go to I'm gonna kind of go through a couple pretty fast. Go to 1 Peter. 1 Peter 5:5.
First Peter chapter 5, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder.
Right? So this is talking about women, obviously. It's talking about the younger women. Submit yourselves to the elders, right? Read.
Yea, all of you be subject to one another.
And see, and this is one of the things, we're supposed to be subject to one another. And we forget that a lot of the times, that this is a we thing, right?
Yeah.
Not a I thing. We're supposed to be subject to one another. We're supposed to be able to come to one another for things. We're supposed to be able to condescend. Doesn't matter what rank, position, man, male, female, it doesn't matter. If we're trying to build a body, if we're trying to build a nation, those are the things you got to do. You can't just, rule with an iron fist,
Right.
and expect everything to be built the way you want it to be built. No, we got to condescend to one another. That's why it says yield to one another. Read.
And be clothed with humility.
With what?
With humility.
Gotta be. That's part of the submissive. The submitting is just having humility, being humble. You see that? There's nothing wrong with a brother being humble to a sister. There's nothing wrong with a brother having humility towards a sister. Is he just like less of a man now?
No.
No. He's just showing those fruits of the spirit. Right?
What you're showing is not strange to have this characteristic of submitting,
No, it's not.
of having
It's not a strange thing.
having that humility.
Right. 'Cause that's all submitting is humility.
Yeah, it's humility.
It's meekness.
Right.
It's what you yield yourself to, what you give yourself over to. Like when it says yield your members unto sin, that's what you're submitting to.
He's showing that the reason why you can't get the concept as a woman to submit is because you don't even understand this characteristic needs to be instilled in you as a righteous person.
Right, because it's already instilled in you out doing whatever wickedness you were doing.
Right.
That was
you
easy.
submitted to that.
You submitted to that like that. Drop of
Right.
a dime. You want to let's go smoke cigarettes. Oh yeah, let's go do it. Man, I want to let's go smoke some weed. Oh, you want me to roll the blunt? Sisters are, they quick to execute the wicked part, the unrighteousness. They'll yield their members to that. But when it comes to sister, you can't talk like that. You're a little bit prideful. You're a little bit arrogant. Or do it this way, not the way you want to do it. It's like all of a sudden, all hell done broke loose. You see that? So these are the things we got to work on. These are the things we got to change and see. When you're yielding your members to that unrighteousness, to that sin, that's the death. Submit or die. That's the dying part. Because sin is death, right?
Con.
Right. So now you got to figure out a way. How do I come out of death and into the light? You got to be humble. You got to be meek. You got to submit. You have to. You got to submit to the Most High and to His will. From there, where we at? Go to Romans 13:1. So now we're seeing that we got to submit to the Most High, right? Man, woman, child. But now we also got to see that the Most High doesn't just come down and say, Volante, I need you to submit, brother.
Yes.
Shawashana, submit to your husband. The Most High doesn't come down and do that. But what does He do? He ordains powers, right? He ordains men, right? So read that. Romans 13:1.
Romans chapter 13 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Unto the what?
Unto the higher powers.
So every soul is going to be subject to the
some-
higher powers, to something above them.
Yeah, there's something above them.
Christ, God, man, Christ, woman, man, children, woman. everyone has somebody over them. I don't care if you're at your job. You're not the highest ranking person at your job.
Right.
You're a subordinate to someone. You have lower rank than someone at your job. Unless you're the CEO, COO. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're the owner. But even then, guess what? An owner we own a business, right?
You gotta submit to Uncle Sam.
Right. There's always a higher power. We know the highest power is the Most High.
Right.
Everything is under the Most High. But here on this earth, there's powers there's men that are going to be above men. So it said, read it again.
Romans chapter 13, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Read.
For there is no power but of God.
Right, there's no power but of God. There's nothing higher than God, but the power is given by the Most High. Read.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
You see that? So the man that you have that tells you do it like this and not like that, he was ordained by the Most High. He was the one that was ordained to bring you into life and take you out of that darkness. That's what you got to see. It's for your benefit.
I mean, if he's using the wisdom and understanding.
And that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
A man that's in that wisdom.
Right.
This is the true submission
Right.
of righteousness.
Right.
We got that unbalance where I got a story about that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we have that where, matter of fact, let's jump to it real quick. Go to Acts chapter 5 and verse 1.
Oh, right.
You know about this story, right?
Right.
Because you do have, you got to realize one thing. We're not out here telling any sister, hop on the corner, sell your ass, and then bring the money back. Or go do drugs, go pimp yourself. That's not happening. A righteous man, we know if you're dealing with a righteous man, he's not doing that. All he's doing is, sister, get your mind right. Get your spirit in order. Because why? Your salvation is nearer than you know. That's what it's about. Sometimes we forget, like we were talking about earlier, we forget, why the hell do we do this? Why do you go through all these sufferings? Do y'all, lose grasp on why? I think some of us do, man. We forget. We get so lost in the moment, we forget to look out and say, damn, this is why I fight. This is why I'm going through this. To be saved. For a higher purpose. I'm going through this for the next person. So we're not out here saying, go do some unrighteousness. We're out here saying, listen, get your mind right. Christ is coming. If you want to roll with him, this is the things that you got to do. Because guess what? I'm doing it. Can't be unequally yoked. Right? But read that Acts 5 and 1.
Acts chapter 5, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
But a certain man named Ananias with Sapphira, his wife,
Right.
sold a possession.
So Ananias and his wife, they had a possession, right? They had some land. And they sold it. Read.
And kept part of the price.
And they kept part of the price. Read.
His wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet.
Right. So they were supposed to give all of it to the apostles. But Ananias kept a part and his wife knew about it. So so basically she submitted to the wrong thing. Instead of her saying, well, let me do the right thing, like when you read about man, I should have put it down. The story, read on.
But Peter said, Ananias,
Right.
why hath Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Ghost?
So he said, Ananias, why did you submit yourself to Satan, basically? Why did you submit to Satan? Read.
And to keep part of the price of the land.
Read.
While it remained, it was not thine own.
You see that? Read.
And after it was sold, was it not thine own power? in thy own power
Mm-hmm.
was
And our own.
Where you at?
Verse 4.
Read it again.
Verse 4. While it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not thine own power?
Read.
Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart?
Hey, ask him, why did you conceive this thing? Why did you decide to hold back some of the monies? Why did you submit yourself to this unrighteousness? Right? Read on.
Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto God.
Unto who?
Unto God.
Yeah. You submitted to Satan, but you ain't lying to a man about it. You lied to the Most High. You held back from the Most High. But the problem was, and we're going to read on the story, his wife, it says she knew about it. So she submitted herself to that evil. So, on the flip side, when you're dealing with a righteous man, this is not what a righteous man is telling you to do.
Right.
When he's
I was just going to say, really, when it comes down to Israelites, relationships, brothers and sisters, it don't come down to that.
It don't come down to this.
It don't come down to you worshiping angels and other gods, and the brothers like, listen, man, let's go worship this other god.
Yeah, no.
Well, you know what it comes down to? Ego. Right? We get out, and I want to go to my house. Right? You might take a whole different route than me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A whole different route. We do this all the time. You be in the car with somebody and they're like, no, we should. And they're like, no, I got a different way.
Yeah.
It's not that his way is wicked. It's not that my way is right.
It's a different way of doing it.
It's just a different way of doing it that's going to get us down that same road. But usually, ego comes in and says, see, now, if this is husband and wife, right? Now, that's when the ego comes in. The wife was supposed to take the submissive seat.
Right.
Right? Not saying the man can't. But if the man asserts his position, right? The woman is supposed to say, you know what? Oh, okay, I'll go that way. Because that's the order of things. Just like if the kid's in the car and they're saying, hey, listen, you know what? Well, Dad, I know a different. Google is like, Google is telling me to do it this way. I'm like, sit back, let me drive.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing with the woman. She's not going to let the kids overtalk her, right? Right, because it shouldn't be. That's where the chaos comes in.
Right.
You see that? So when you deal with submissiveness, when you deal with submitting, we're talking about ego coming in.
Yeah, what do you want to let go? That's the thing. What
I don't want to submit to what the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, Lakamai, he always used to take the back streets. You know what I mean? Everywhere he want to go, he want to dip through the back streets. I'm like, bro, I hate driving with you, right? But what? He's driving.
Yeah.
So I got to sit there and shut the hell up, right? Unless I somewhere I need to go important, I say, all right, please, not today. I need you to go this way.
Get there.
So we can get there, right?
Yeah.
You see that?
And he had to submit to that.
Then
though.
at that time, with all due respect, he would have to say, okay, Khan, let me do it that way. Why? Because I'm telling him to worship the devil? Telling him to follow Satan? No, he just, out of respect, right? He's saying, you know what? This is the elder brother. Let me do it that way. Not that is right or wrong. And I think a lot of times people miss that what you said. He's not telling you to go on the corner and make me some money. He's not saying, listen, let's go worship the devil in my basement. He's just saying, no, I want it done this way. And that's when this is where the other word comes in, pride. Ego and pride comes in.
You know, it's no different. It's no different when you say you formulate when a man, like if you formulate a thought in your head like, okay, we're gonna do this like this and like this.
Right.
And then the spirit hits you and says, nah. Something happens where it diverts
or like
that path.
like we do all the time. I'll be like, man, I got this idea,
and
right?
we counsel.
And then I say, okay, AI, what you think about it? And you're like, you know what? Shoot that down. And then another brother comes in and says, AI, I was like, yeah. And I'm thinking like my idea was the thing.
Yeah.
But we counseled, and the next you know, everybody shot it down.
Yeah.
I can't be, majority of the time, I can't say, no, I'm Kazakia, we're going to do it my way.
Captain of a million. I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. Majority of the time, I'm like, okay, because me, I don't want it to go wrong anyway.
Right.
Because when it goes wrong, you ain't gonna blame it on everybody. You gonna blame it on me. So I'm like, all right, let's do it that way. That sounds like a good idea. But sometimes I'll say, nah. You know what? I think we need to go with this way.
Yeah.
And brothers out of humility might say, oh, you know what? I'm not seeing it that way, but this way. Because a lot of times I don't see it that way.
Yeah. Like with the EG bottles that time.
Yeah. It was we do it all the time with EO and brothers come up with ideals and I'm like, I'm not seeing this ideal. Or my ideals get shot down and I'm like really fervent over it. But see, what keeps us together and unified is the word and humble and humility to be able to say, okay, well, I'm listening to you now, you listen to me now. Only when pride comes in, then cometh contention.
And it breaks that what? You said it.
Then cometh debate.
But it breaks that unity.
It breaks the unity.
Breaks the unity.
Because it's now like, okay, wait a minute, brother. You told me 5 times that you had to be your way. Now, you were supposed to do it 5 times my way.
Tit for tat.
You're going tit for tat, and that's usually what goes on in these households, in families, in relationships. There's been brothers like that. You know, there's been brothers where it's like, he might have been a subordinate, and I'll come in and be like, so what you think about that? He was like, well, I think we should do it like this. Okay, do it that way. I'm gone. Right? Mm-hmm. Then you do that 10 times. It's like, hey, what you think about that? Oh, I think we should do it. Oh, do it like that way. That's cool. Do it that way. Right? But then too many times, he thought he's not humble enough to say, okay, the brother is just giving me my leeway.
Yeah.
But I gotta still respect opinion. Right?
Yeah.
So now when I come in and say, nah, don't do it like that, the brothers start getting upset.
Emotional.
It was like, brother, this was the right way. It wasn't about right or wrong. It was just about preference.
Yeah. And things that were laid down, regardless of preference and regardless of how I let you do it.
Now
this is what was laid down.
Now let's bring it down into relationships.
Ooh.
Let's bring it back to the relationships.
Don't do that.
Really? When you bring it back to the relationships,
Yeah.
we're dealing with the same thing. Why? Because it's the way you do it as opposed to the way she does it. But who's supposed to take the back seat?
The woman.
Well,
No.
he's like, well, in America,
No.
in Houston, Texas, they be pulling your ass like, we ain't smelling that. Get over here.
No, you know what's crazy? She was looking for the photo for the YouTube.
Right.
And what was it? A picture of a woman dragging a man by the collar?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it means to submit in this country.
Yeah.
But we know if we're dealing with righteous men,
Right.
it's like you gotta ask yourself, why wouldn't you want to be under the tutelage? That's all it really is. Why wouldn't you want to be under the teachings of a righteous man?
Right.
Under a man that is trying to follow after Christ.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to be under that? What else is there? I mean, you gotta ask yourself, what else is there? Tyrone done beat you. All these other cats done left you and used you.
Well, that's the problem. And we're talking about this to give y'all all the intriguing things in the midst, because we got a lot of scriptures we can always pull.
Yeah.
But is that not how relationships are?
Come on.
Any relationship, job, brother, sister, you know what I mean? All these relationships are based off of these principles.
Yeah.
But you see how when you put the spirit in there, then you have to have things like humility. You have to have things like obedience. You have to have things like respect. You see that? And these are the things that it goes back to the first scriptures he pulled. You got to have your mind in the scriptures, because now we can't get together. Why? Because your ego's bigger than mine. My ego's bigger than yours.
Yeah. up my own camp.
Yeah, he's gonna open up his own camp. We start talking crap about each other, and next you know you got what you got online now, hatred. Why? Because the bare essentials wasn't building the young men from the beginning to learn what? Submissiveness, humility.
Meekness. Yeah, no, it's real. It's real.
Right. Yeah.
It's real. But like you said, even in the relationships, sisters dealing with their husbands, that wasn't instilled in you in the world. You see that? It wasn't instilled in you in the world to be, or excuse me, the righteous way. It wasn't instilled in you to follow a man in righteousness.
Right.
It was instilled in you to follow a man, but to your damnation, to your death. I love people that say, I don't follow, I'm not a follower.
I seen that on Facebook the other
What the
day.
hell are you talking about? You ain't create nothing.
Yeah, I seen that on Facebook the other day.
It's like, what did you create? Because
Nothing.
you're following something.
Yeah.
You following something, the wickedness, or you following something, the righteousness. Tell me what you started if you ain't a follower.
Right.
And then tell me what you want to follow. Because we know sin is death. Right? And righteousness is light. That's the life. Right? But where you at? Let's go back to the scriptures real quick. Where you at? Yeah, Romans 13:1. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. No, go back to Romans. Go back to Romans. So basically, you can read the rest of that story, but that brother dropped dead right there in front of the apostles. Then his wife came,
Right.
and she dropped dead right in front of the apostles.
Right. And
Because
the point was of you pulling that.
the point that I pulled out was to show what did they submit to. She submitted to this man and his wickedness.
He was a knucklehead.
He submitted to the devil. She submitted to him. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're promoting. So it should be even more for sisters that are dealing with a righteous man to say, man, let me just follow.
Now, once again, you have to determine what is righteous and wicked.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
You know, and when you go into the household, and I know we're talking, but these are things that are reality. Because, listen, the scriptures say, wives, submit yourself to your husband, right? Isn't that easy, though? Do you go in and say, yes, Lord?
Right.
What dost thou desire? Right? Listen, hook me up this, that, and she says, yes, Lord, as thou wishest. You know what I mean? How do you say it, you're watching that? As thou wishest me, Lord. Right? No! You see what I'm saying? So, the thing is this. The variables and the things that come into the play is this. Ego. Pride. Ego and pride. Because is he telling you, listen, hey, whip up some crack on that stove.
Right. Cook that. It's cooking.
You see what I'm saying? No. You had a direction to make noodles and spaghetti, and he wants fish. Fried fish. R.A.I. He wants fried fish every night. You know what I mean? You're like, well, I want to make... Is everybody, we eat fried fish every night? As me Lord says, you want fried fish. You better hook him his fried fish and cook something else.
That's it.
You see that? But you know why is it like that? Why are you not like that? Because you don't know about humility. Let's go back to, you don't know about submissiveness.
Right.
Let's go back to, go to Peter's. Let's go there real quick. Let's get that one out of the way. Right? We got to get that.
I was getting ready to go there after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, let him finish
So
and then,
go to the Romans, read the Romans 13
and then we'll go to Peter's.
Romans chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher power.
Right?
For there is no power but of God.
Read.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
So we know that the powers that be are ordained of God, right? So now let's go to 1 Peter 2 and 13.
Well, perfect point. Like at that point, I wanted to intervene, and you needed to push that scripture to lead to the next scripture.
right.
So you see a lot of times with you, I'll let you give that leeway. To other brothers, I might be like, nah, because his youth and the delivery.
Right.
You see that?
Right.
See,
that. Yeah,
so what I'm saying is that we all have to be sensitive in respecting one another, or else I'll be pushing all the way in. You see what I'm saying? And then I'll usually take over his class. So I have to be sensitive for him to say, okay, I got to know without him saying it, like out loud on camera, brother, you taking over my class, right? I got to be sensitive enough. No, this is
real.
real.
It's real.
It's real why brothers and men other, and everybody wants to pull their ego on table and be like, listen, I'm such and such, and not say, no, this is needed at this time. You see that?
Because it goes into so many things. It's just like the meal thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's like this. We sat here and did questions.
Right.
And I got all these scriptures.
Right.
And I took time to do it.
Right.
I could be sitting here pissed off, like, man, I took the whole night.
Yeah, but yeah.
I stayed up all night prepping this class, and I'm about to not be able to get my scriptures out.
Right.
But in humility and in meekness, I know, okay, that's how it's going to go sometimes.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
It's no different than you cook the meal thing.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? Listen, this is what I had to understand. A lot of times I don't want to answer questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, we got a class to go over.
Yeah.
But we keep getting hit with class. But it's the humility. Now we're servants to the people online.
We're subject to them.
We're
right?
subject, yeah, because you might have this great class you need to bring out, and they're
Yeah.
like, no, question, and we were still getting hit with questions.
Yeah.
So we had to, okay, now we had to shut it down, right? You see that? This is so much in our circle, and we don't know about this as Israelites. That's why we have so much hatred and bitterness and anger one for another, because nobody has no damn humility.
Yeah,
Nobody can say, you know, let me pull back and
right.
chill.
Let me get up off my high horse.
And sometimes it's more than others.
Yeah.
Why? Why sometimes you're being humble more than others? Why sometimes you have to be more submissive than others? I'm a woman.
I don't think I understand.
Why does it seem in life you're taking, well, I'm having to be more submissive. Why do you feel like that? I don't see you being submissive. Why is that thought process?
Oh, like why me? The
yeah,
why me?
why me?
What was
Why
me?
Why me? Why am I more submissive? Why?
Well, for me, when I get that in my head,
Yeah.
I'm not doing enough if I'm focused on why it's me.
Right.
My mind is too idle.
Because that comes with sisters, right?
Right.
You see one sister, you act like, well, shit, your sisters is checking me on being more submissive and humble, but they not. Why?
You're not focused enough.
You're not focused enough, but the Most High is working on you.
Yeah.
He's working on you. And he's using this other individual to do it.
But that's why I started the class the way I
There you
started
go.
it.
Right.
To show that it's the Most High.
Right.
No matter what. It doesn't matter who he uses. He could use a dog if he wanted to.
Right.
To humble your ass down. It's the Most High. You got to recognize that. We always have to recognize that. It's the Most High. Regardless. Read where you at.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 13. Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake.
It says do what?
Submit yourself to every ordinance of man for the Lord's
For
sake.
whose sake?
For the
It
Lord's
says
sake.
every ordinance of man. Now, this is the thing. In this, we're dealing with a righteous man. I want to make that very clear. We're dealing with a righteous man. We're dealing with this righteousness now. We're not dealing with the what if the nigga's wicked. What if he... No. It's a righteous man. It says submit yourself to the ordinance of man for whose sake again?
The Lord's sake.
For the Most High's sake. Because all the power was ordained of him anyway. And from him. The power that man has, the powers on this earth, they come from the Most High. So you're doing it for the Lord's sake regardless. Read.
Whether it be to king
Whether it be the king,
as supreme,
right,
or unto governors, as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment
right,
of evildoers.
So you get that? So you gotta submit, whether it be for the punishment of the evildoers, read,
and for the praise of them that do well.
You know what that just told y'all?
Mm-hmm.
That you have to submit your ass to the white man. That when he pulls you over, you ain't gonna jump out the ride and be like, I'm Prince such and such.
Right.
Generals, I don't.
I'm Kazakia.
Sir, step out the car. No!
Right.
I'm Prince Hakeem. And I don't submit to nobody. You know how many scriptures I got under my belt? No, you get your ass out of the car. Yes, sir, master. What was that? You need insurance?
Agree with that
I don't
adversary
give a
quickly.
damn how many scriptures you got.
Right. It don't matter.
You see them acting up online when they don't know humility and they don't know that God put the white man over us,
then they get Brody with them, right? They get all tough and rough, and they get shot in the stomach, right? And then they're like, look at him, he's dying, they shot him, he didn't do nothing. He probably was running his damn mouth or didn't move with wisdom. Now I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying they're getting away with it. What I'm saying is that the scripture's saying, that render unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not paying tax. Even in your constitution, there's no federal tax that had to be taken. I ain't doing that. Yeah, right.
Go to jail.
They kick in your damn door. You know what I mean?
They take you to jail.
Right. It don't work like that. You have to submit. Right?
Read on.
Verse 15. For so is the will of God.
Whose will is it?
The will of God.
You gotta remember, again, it's the will of the Most High, ordained through men. Read.
That with well-doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men.
You see that? You see that well-doing? First of all, the will is to submit. And that's also the well-doing. You know what the ignorance of foolish men is? When they ask those questions. How come you do this? Sisters, how come you wear a head covering? How come you gotta wear a skirt? How come he makes you do this? That's ignorance, because they don't get it. They don't see that this is the will of the Most High. And it's well-doing, it's pleasing in the sight of the Most High. It ain't, we didn't write the Bible. Nobody up here wrote this book.
No. If we wrote it, it'd be like you hit it, you quit it, next one.
Next one. On to the next.
That would be the
I don't want to deal with no problems. I don't want to hear nothing.
Get a robot.
Right.
If I wanted the truth, I get a robot. From China. Right?
Yeah, the realistic.
I mean the realistic ones, right? She be like, she's smart. You know what I mean? No, but listen, on the real, how many of us would do that? If you didn't have the knowledge, you're like, I don't want to deal with none of this.
Yeah.
You have to see, man didn't write this. It's beyond us.
It's beyond us. It's beyond what we think we want to do. I mean, you got to really think about it. We got to submit to y'all. When y'all come with them demons, we got to now put off what we want to do. Put off what we don't feel like doing.
Mm-hmm. Long suffering.
The long suffering. We got to have the long suffering.
Mm-hmm.
We got to have We got to have patience.
Gentleness.
Condescending.
Restoring one in the spirit of
meekness. We got to do all these things that it's just so easy to be like, man, deal with your own stuff.
Yeah.
Move over here. Mm-hmm. Get over here. I don't feel like hearing that.
Yep.
But now we got to submit to what the Most High wants, which is to teach. Restore one in the spirit of meekness, like he quoted.
Yeah, the other day they had, the question about saving his life, losing his life. Mm-hmm. That's about submitting. That's submitting to the will of the Most High.
Right.
Why are we doing this? Why are you here? Because you want to learn how to submit to the Most High. What better way do I give myself? That's why the Most High calls you Israelites a what? What does he call Israelites? He compares them to a woman, a bride, being prepared. Then he comes back and said, these are the virgins. Why? Because you're going to be submissive like a virgin. Never had known, never had the feeling, but giving themselves out of sheer willingness.
Like a child.
Like a child.
Like a child.
That's why we're the bride of the Most High. You see that? So we have to come back and do what? Submit like that woman.
Right.
As a nation.
On all levels. Go to Hebrews 13 and 7. Hebrews 13 and 17. Excuse me.
Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 17.
So in Peter it said, for this is the will of the Most High, that with well-doing you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. Right? So read that. Hebrews 13 and 17.
Obey them that have the rule over you.
Because that rule that is over you was ordained of the Most High, first and foremost. Read.
And submit yourselves.
Right. That's what you're supposed to give yourself to. That righteous man. And not the evil. That's how you get that life. Read.
For they watch for your soul.
Because what are they supposed to be doing?
Watch for your soul.
You know why they got to watch for your soul? Because you can't watch for your own soul. That's why. Because when you had the chance to watch for your soul, you did it wrong. I mean, it kills me, man. You got people that will complain about the things they got to go through in the truth, They complain about some of the dumb things, but guess what? When you were out in the world and you had it all, you didn't even use it right. You didn't have all that you had in the world, and it was so easy to attain.
We got brothers that were ex-drug dealers. They was like, man, I was rolling with
Thousands.
thousands.
But
And
guess
ain't got
nothing to show for it. And then when you come to serve the Most High, and you don't got those thousands, you want to still complain. But when you had it, you didn't do nothing with it. You see that?
Done.
You come in the truth. You damn homeless. You gotta live with a person. But before that, you had your 4-bedroom house. All your bills was paid because of your job. You didn't have to worry about nothing. But the Most High start humbling you down, and you want to complain. But it's like, why? You had it all, and you still didn't use it right. You were complaining then. So now when it's time to be submissive for that righteousness' sake, it's like I want to complain.
You usually do what you did in the first place. You go through this cycle, keep making the wrong decisions. And the Most High keep breaking you down, and until you really learn to say, wait a minute, this is supposed to be about the Creator, me submitting to Him. You submitted to the job, the money, the drugs.
But you said it best. You go through this cycle where you keep making the same mistakes.
Yeah.
That's why He said He did what? We do what? We watch.
We watch for your soul.
Right. That's why He put somebody over you to watch for your soul. So you wouldn't keep making the same mistakes over and over. Because when you had it, you ain't use it right. When you had it, you didn't use it right. So He put somebody over you to show you, this is how you going to do it. This is how we going to get you right. This is how we going to spend the money if that's it. This is how we going to live. Read on.
As they that must give account.
Right. And they're responsible for giving now an account for you. They're basically responsible for your spirit. Most High is going to hold them in account.
Yep.
Read.
That they may do it with joy.
But they're supposed to be doing this with a joyful account. They're supposed to give a joyful account. That's what we want. We want to give a joyful account. A lot of times it's like, man, brothers are like, man, what's going on with your rib? It's like, man, this chick is off. She's tripping. I'm dealing on her with this. I'm dealing with her on this. It's always a grievous account of things. It's never, man, my rib, she's been studying. She's in there. She's locked in. She's strong. It's always like, man, she's fading away. It shouldn't be like that. Brothers don't want to ask, man, what's going on with you? And the first thing is like you're reeling off all these problems about your rib. Because she's not locking in and she's not seeing that it's not about you, it's about the Most High. Because that's what it's about. Y'all, I think y'all, man,
it's set up like that.
man.
You know what? It's set up like that. It's set up like that. Listen, that's
scheme.
like I was saying about Moses and Pharaoh.
Yeah.
You know, the Most High, remember, used Pharaoh to whoop us.
Yeah.
To keep us, to have us submit.
Mm-hmm.
But then he told Moses, Moses is like, listen, I can't even speak well.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, you're going to submit. Are you going to do what I asked you to do? And Moses submitted. That's what that whole process was about. He was about, okay, I might feel I'm deaf, dumb, and stupid. But if I listen to you, obedience is better than sacrifice. That's what the Most High desires, that submissiveness. And this is why, and we got so much, it's just 10 o'clock.
Can I get one?
Yeah. I'm just saying that this is why David, that Samuel came to Saul. Because the Most High is like, Saul wanted to do things his way. Remember that. Why wasn't his sacrifice accepted of the Most High? Because the Most High gave him a commandment. I want you to go in and kill everybody. Everybody. Right? The roaches, the cats, the dogs, the babies, everybody. Oh, we saved this for you. I just told you to go kill everybody.
Everything.
You making me get in my damn high voice. Right? So Moses like, no. Samuel had to come back and say, obedience is better than sacrifice. Won't you just do what I told you to do? Right? But that's how we get. I was thinking of a better way. Oh, so you ain't, then you get like Cain. What? So what? My what I'm doing is not good enough?
Good
Well,
enough.
then whatever then. Yeah, I don't need to do nothing. Okay, you don't do nothing then. See the mind state? That Cain, once you go into that Cain mind state, oh, so what, my cup of water's not good enough because I didn't ask you for tea, I asked you for a cup of water. So what, now it's not acceptable?
I just ain't gonna do nothing.
I just ain't gonna do nothing. You're not learning how to be submissive. This all goes back to what we give to the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice as unto the Lord. The Most High is telling you how to give yourself, but you're like, wait, but that's not what I want to do. I want a double dutch. He said, if you're lukewarm, I'll spew you out. He said, I want all your heart. I want all your loving. You can't be dipping off with everybody else. I want you for mine, right? And that individual is like, nah, my mind's still on Jose. My mind's still on Luther. You know what I mean? I still like this religion, this ideal, the Most High, I'll get to you. I'll get to you when I want to. Right?
It's dangerous.
Oh, it's very dangerous because that's that mind of Cain. Right? That's why he came back and said, don't you know if you would do well, it is acceptable unto the Lord? So, go ahead, Matt.
Get Titus chapter 3 and verse 1. Get Titus chapter 3 and verse 1. No, you get Titus 3 and 1. So Hebrews 13, I'm gonna read it one more time. Let me know when you get that Titus 3 and 1. You got it? Come on, Volante.
Titus?
Yeah, Titus 3 and 1.
Titus is over there.
Titus chapter 3, verse 1.
All right, so I'm going to read this real quick. It says, obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. Right? Read Titus 3 and 1.
Put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrates, to be ready to every good work.
So this is the thing. The reason why the Most High set someone over you to watch for your soul, he's setting you up so you can be ready to do good works. You see that? It's just, it's like this. Think about this. Think about you got a wife, or think about a sister that, she got a wife, she got a husband, and she's always just talking bad to her husband. He's like, no, do it this way. She's like, no. And then, we use the analogy, she gets pulled over by a cop. She's going to talk to that cop the same way she deals with her husband. He's trying to set her up to do good works, to know how to agree with that adversary quickly. She gets pulled over, talks straight to the cop. Something happens, gets shot, whatever the case may be. You see that? We're trying to instill this is how you're supposed to deal in all aspects of life. It ain't just with your husband. It ain't just at your job. It's in all aspects. Because no matter what, you can't be at a job talking to your boss any old way. You're going to get fired. Then you're going to come home with the sob story, oh, I got fired. And it's like, well, why? Oh, you probably was talking crazy to the boss.
We got a brother like that. Brother that cannot keep a job. Why? Because he don't know about being humble, submissive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, they just always at me. Like, no, they tell you to do something, you don't want to do it,
right,
and you get mouthy with them.
Because you ain't ready to do these good works. You don't have, you're not, nobody set you in that mind state.
Right.
Or you didn't take on that mind state.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why the Most High put someone over. That's why you got a head over you, man, woman, child, Christ. That's why you got a head over you, to show you, to set you in this mind frame to do good works. Read on.
Yeah, Israel got to understand, man, that it ain't going to be like before. You know how they think, oh, you know what, I got a connection with God. Listen, we had that. We messed that up.
Yeah.
Adam messed that up. You look at Adam, he had that connection. Then we had angels, right? Then we had the Urim and Thummim. We had prophets that were actually speaking to angels, right? No. He said you're facing the east and you got now the foolishness of preaching.
Right.
He says the foolishness of preaching. Because now you got somebody to remind you and tell you. So if you think that, oh, I'm my own person, no. He set somebody there. Yeah. That's why he said, wear out the footsteps of the wise.
gonna end it on that, man. We're gonna end it on that. It's a bunch.
Yeah, it's a lot. I had a lot of scriptures too, man. That I quoted,
Are you
but
ready to go in?
oh,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Y'all got any questions on the topic? Sisters, brothers?
But y'all get where it was going, right? It wasn't like let's beat down the women class.
Yeah, it
wasn't one of those.
It wasn't to once again to the women or nothing.
Right.
It was just to show us all that you're never gonna grasp the concept of humility and submissiveness if you don't look at it through the lens of the scriptures to the Most High first of all.
And also there's an order to the order. That's the thing. There's an order to the order, man. That's what we gotta see. There's an order to everything that the Most High is setting up. But it all gotta begin for you to even get it or be a part of it. You gotta remember that it all begins with Him. It all begins with Him. It's not about your husband. It's not about your mother, your sister, your brother. It's not about that. It's about the Most High first. And once you know how to put the Most High first, you'll end up doing for your husband. You'll end up doing all these things that you're supposed, if you're married or if you're, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, the point that you kept bringing out was that it's for the Most High.
It's for the Most High.
For the Most High, and he's putting these situations and circumstances in your life for a reason, and you have to learn. And if you don't learn, you're gonna keep being put in those same predicaments.
Yeah, because a lot of us, like I said, man, a lot of us coming in from the world, the very things that we complain about or wish we had or whatever the case may be, we had out there.
Right.
But you didn't know how to use it. You didn't know how to use it. You didn't know how to delegate. You didn't know how to do these things. So it was hurting your spirit. So now somebody has to be set over you to show you this is how you delegate. This is how you handle this problem. This is how you don't go crazy at work. This is how you don't lose your mind with the kids. You see that?
And that's everyone.
That's everyone.
We're all the prodigal child.
Yeah.
But we all got, listen, no matter what, we all got something that we got to obey. We all got something that we have to, and that's another point that we got to make sure that it ain't just sisters. It ain't just the why me, why me, why me. Nah, we all got something that we all have someone or something above us regardless that we have to submit to.
Yeah.
So y'all got to keep that in mind. When it's your time, though, it's your time. When it's time to bring up out of you what is in you, whatever little negative it may be, you can't run from it. You can't why me, why me, why me.
Right.
It's only to help you to get better. But yeah, man, we're gonna with that, we're gonna hold it there.
We got
Any
anything
questions?
online? Any questions on that online?
Not on the class.
What, like another stuff?
There was
Everybody got a gang.
like 7 questions we didn't get to before we started.
Oh, and listen, y'all brothers and sisters that we didn't get to the questions, we will answer those questions next class. So Shabbat Friday class at 6 o'clock. We'll be here again. So join us for that. Once again, like, share, subscribe. If your brothers and sisters want to give a donation, you can look at that on the screen. Check out our cable shows, the ones we just put up. Some massive information. All right, and look out for the next ones that's coming too. We got some really good ones. The next cable show that should be coming up, we got one called "Why is the Black Woman and Hispanic Woman the Queens of the Earth?" So we got things like that. Just some really good classes. All right. So we'll wait a second to see if anybody wants to say anything on there. I know you got questions, but we'll see if y'all want to say anything to us on there. And if not, we'll close it out. Y'all got anything? Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. But once again, you're going to be taking good notes on these questions because there's a lot of them coming out. All right. Anything? Anything on there? Okay. All right. Well, salute them. Say shalom, y'all. Shalom. All right. Go ahead and conclude class. Like 75 pop in or no?
Yeah, they start popping in. This is all old stuff.
That's all old stuff. Okay. YouTube Israel, man. Love it. Love it. Alright, y'all. Majum, Wapanya Hapadam, rise and face the east. What's up?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Just like, just didn't feel like it was fun. You know what I mean? It just seemed kind of.
It did. And then you was getting into it. You only had an hour and you got so much. We got to start cutting questions off